Which one of your campaigns is it?
It's
Graven Image.
Okay,
I'm
I
not
figured.
invited to that one, I don't think.
That's right, Gamry. You're not. You should think about what you fucking did. You took a
Alright, I'll be right
15-minute
back.
job
Just
and
gonna grab a
turned it
quick
into
dirt.
3 hours.
It's actually kind of foreshadowing.
Honestly, like, I don't want to play
I
Gamry.
didn't invite Russell to the game.
I don't want to... Are you trying to get Gamry killed?
Nah, he's dead already.
On the
Gamry's
internet?
tough to play because, like, you want to do the smart, smooth thing, but his rolls all suck for that. Like, brute force is all he's
that's
good
a
at.
fighter, man. No
Like, he
skill.
tries
Yeah,
to, like,
you know
oh,
what? It's not your
-2.
fault. Gorgon's the one who sent you in to get that. I was going to be like, listen, you're in danger.
I was hoping she'd just be, like, offering
but
it to me and Gorgon could steal it, but...
Well, let's be honest here. Lamat
You should have just got checked by the doctor.
No,
This
Lamat-
all happened because you wouldn't get your balls checked.
Lamat wasn't giving us anything. It's like, Les, you talked them down. You've ended the situation. She comes out with a gun. Like, damn it!
Well,
At least,
I mean,
at least she was on the sly. She was still on her side.
She was coming before. Yeah, she wasn't like it was always coming from the beginning. But yeah, no, it's she just sorry. I hope I get no, definitely. Honestly, though, if you do have like criticism of things I could improve, definitely like tell me and Skype it afterwards because it's definitely things I want to know to improve. I'm not just saying it to be polite, but. Yeah,
there's a lot of good things. I actually kind of liked that you were tough on us because don't let Drew.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes because as a dungeon master, I don't want to say no, but I don't want to just like destroy your imagination. Yeah, so it's definitely a hard line to thread. But yeah, no, in a general rule, yeah, I'm trying to keep your options as open as possible.
So, to begin, I guess because who's here? Who's here right now?
You just need to. Can you give me control of? I just imported Yang in the game. Can you?
Yeah. So I'm gonna be like RPing, rotating through people. So I'm just gonna set this right now. If there's anything you need from me, put in chat. If you have to do anything like update character sheets or like buy stuff, you will have time to do it now. But I'm going to like rotate through people for a bit of downtime, like doing their own things, sort of like how Benzel did to open the campaign. So if you have to do anything, do it when I'm not RPing with you.
Okay.
Okay. Got it.
So and don't start with me. I'm gonna take this.
Okay. Who is here? Who wants to go first?
I would go. I rolled a 2.
Okay. Great. So, yeah, no, I'll wait for the rolls here in a second. So, you stay in the blue boot, presumably, right, Carl?
Yeah.
Like I imagine. After all this bullshit, like we take pretty well like a day to rest. We hang out in the blue boot because we kind of ended at like a weird time of the day, like it's early morning. So you head back to the blue boot, sleep for a few hours, and when you awaken, so it'll be more like, even though the elves have to sleep less just due to the time that we slept, Leslie, you just happened to wake up first. Out at your window, you can hear that there is a light drizzle, as you can hear the water falling off the shingles and onto the sort of like landing at your window below as you awaken in the Blue Boot Inn. What do you want to do?
Les is going to reach into his pillowcase to feel that his book is still there.
Yep.
He's going to get up and stretch, and he's going to move over to his alchemy station that he's got set up and start packing it up to take with him.
Okay.
And
keep in mind, though I did tell you that we would be on a ship, that was more like metagaming stuff to get prepared. Your characters are not aware that they will be leaving Avid Shore soon.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Just so you know.
Okay. So I want to go out. I'm going to look for Anna to see if anyone else is awake.
Sure. So you go and check. You find that Anna, like, when you go and knock on her door, there's no response. You could, like, keep knocking if you wanted to. The door is also locked.
No, I'm not going to keep knocking. Well, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to keep knocking. I got nothing else to do.
Okay. Eventually, a groggy Anna opens the door, and she sort of like looks at you from the darkness beyond, and over her shoulder on the bed, you can see like a strange, misshapen mound. You see glimmering eyes looking back at you as the candles in the hallway are reflecting from Roa's eyes. Anna sort of like groggily looks at you and says, "Leslie, what's happening? Did those witch hunters come back?"
No, not yet, but it weighs heavily on my mind. I'm sorry to wake you. I couldn't sleep. I've decided that I'm going to go out and hire this courier today. Do you have anything you'd like to send?
Oh, sure, hold on. And she heads back into her room. You see it sort of like darkened. You can hear her like fumbling around in the dark a little bit. And eventually she comes back with a small, just like singly folded piece of paper. Like it's not even an envelope or anything. And she says, if you could send this to my family in Dunford, that would be appreciated.
He smiles and nods and says, "Of course," and says, "Rest well," and moves away from the door and out into the street.
Yep. And she just like closes the door. She doesn't like follow you or anything. When you head downstairs, there's a small like lobby-ish area in the Blue Boot. The Blue Boot Inn is like decently well taken care of. There is like a lobby area, and before that, a small kitchen area. Do you want to stop and have breakfast?
Yeah.
You can smell like the wafting aroma of food. Here's the menu. And while I post that, and I'm going to show this to everybody, so consider what you're going to do. Because we're going to be spending a few days in Abbot Shore for downtime, but we are going to be RPing it, I'd like to use this daily cost thing. So basically, instead of spending money for like every single like little purchase you make, you can basically choose whether or not you want to spend like a silver a day, 3 silvers a day, 3 GP a day, or 30 GP a day, which it says that you can like that it basically just like covers daily stuff. It will also give you charisma bonuses based on what you want to do. Now, I'm not going to ask you to choose one right now, Carl, because I'd like us to go forward. If people could basically just like message me in chat on which one you want to do, that would be great. So after did you decide something for the menu, or you just want to
Stewed parsnip and a mug of stout.
Right. So the food comes to you, and it's not fantastic, but it goes over relatively well. Due to the district that you are staying in Abbot Shore, you can hear, despite the rain, the clicking of heels out on the street as you can hear people walking about doing business. You can also hear a street crier yelling, "Blood soaks the streets of Abbot Shore. Come get the Intrepid, new edition," as you can hear people trying to like sell the Intrepid outside. And as it's a little bit before noon, you sort of gather that you've awoken, and what do you want to do?
I want to go get the newspaper.
Sure. So you head outside. You see a small like open landing, basically, like somebody has or not a landing, like an overhang, basically, that there is a young boy selling papers outside of. Because it's sort of like the middle of the day, there's not that many left. Like the boy seems to have lost his early morning enthusiasm. But as you approach, you pick one up, and I am going to show it to everyone because like I'm not going to do whatever. So there you go. So as you approach, he says, "That'll be 2 coppers, sir." You pay him, and you take it. You can read it. However, Leslie, one thing you do notice as you go through it, something that catches your eye that wouldn't catch everyone else's, your heart sinks as you notice in one of the, basically at the bottom of the front page, it says that your mother, whose name I didn't write down, and unfortunate, her funeral procession is going to be in 5 days. Basically, it says like loved by the community, the widowed Washington's funeral procession will be taking part, heading from their old estate to Grief Willow Cemetery in the equivalent of like 5 days.
Yeah, Les's face tenses, and his eyes kind of shake a little bit. He folds the paper and doesn't read anymore right now. And I am going to move on to this sort of. We're already in sort of the poorer district, the slum district.
No. The Blue Boot district actually is the merchant district. You can see that there's like quite a few artisans around, and actually the Blue Boot itself is sort of like down an alley, but you're close to the slum district. Like it's really not that difficult for you to head over there.
Yeah, I'd like to stop at some merchants on the way to the slum district to buy some alchemical ingredients, but I want to go to the slum district.
No problem. So you make your way over. You head over the bridge. Each of them have like there's not like a guard tool, but there's checkpoints all over the place. They don't like pat you down or anything as you head into the poorer district. You see that the houses are quite a bit older. Most of them are old painted brick. As you head down sort of the main alleyway, if you can see where my arrow is headed into the soot market, which is like an older like marketplace in this square. Across from it, you can see Nancy's, where you have spent quite a bit of time before. Against the streets, there is much less of a bustle. The rain is beginning to like seep down onto the streets, and you can see it draining into the sewer that you left last night that you guys were hanging out.
Oh yeah, the mother was Florence. That's right.
Florence, thank you.
So I'm going to look for that fence. I'm looking for a black market fellow.
So that
maybe
would be
Hobbs or someone,
right? Okay. So you head to Nancy's and you get eyed at the door by some of the bouncers. And as you approach, one of the hobgoblin bouncers approaches you and says, "You're not here to start any trouble, are you?"
Me trouble? What would I do with it if it came to me?
You should know that Nancy told us if you and your folks show up again, we're supposed to warn her.
Please do. I hope she says hello. He smiles.
So the hobgoblin pats you down, takes your sword cane away and stuff, then brings you inside. You see in the middle of the day, like, it's weird to be in Nancy's. There's still like the cloying aroma of cigars in the room, and there's some people like sweeping up the floor. And as you enter, you're pretty well like, they are cleaning up the mess that you guys left from the night previous, and you get like glared at by quite a few of the working staff, but nobody like causes any problems. As you approach, Lauren isn't even behind the bar. Like coming to Nancy's in the middle of the day is unusual, but not
unheard of.
ridiculous.
Oh, I hope these folks know that I had nothing to do with that. Do I see Hobbs anywhere?
No, you do not.
I'm gonna go over to whoever's working the bar.
There's nobody. There's just cleaning staff around. Like there's some bouncers and stuff standing around, like looking at you, and you notice pretty shortly after you start to make your way past like card tables and stuff. Again, like nobody is here. A bouncer exits from like Nancy's room and is just standing by the door staring at you. Like he's not approaching you or anything, but it's. You guys were just here causing problems, so...
Les walks over to the bouncer and says, "Is Nancy here? I've come to offer my deepest apologies."
Well, a large, bald-headed man with various pirate tattoos across his arm and, like, scrawling up onto his face says, "You want to talk to Nancy?"
Yes?
And he opens the door and walks into the next room. You wait for quite a while. You wait for like 15 minutes, just sort of like standing there, unsure of how to proceed. And then finally the door opens again and the bouncer waves you in, walks you into the next room. And there's a large table you see Nancy sitting behind. She actually has like a small bowl of stew in front of her. And as you approach, she sips it without even like looking up at you.
"Hello, Nancy. Long time no see." He smiles.
So she says, you have business here, Washington?
I hope so. I was sort of looking for Hobbs.
Why is that exactly?
I'm looking for ingredients. I'm thinking of creating some new potions. So maybe some that your clients would be interested in.
So, she says, perhaps we can work something out, and she nods at the bouncer. As he goes to get Hobbs, she looks back at you and says, I have half a mind to ban you and your friends from coming back here.
And I would completely respect that. I have to say, it was a sheer lack of judgment on the behalf of our hobgoblin, who's usually quite sharp, to send a hammer to do the job of a pool cue. He kind of looks up in the air at his own metaphor. And
Eleanor is quite distraught over the trouble that you gave her. Elaine is quite distraught over the theft of her loot.
I personally would like to offer a chance to make it up to her if I could, though today would not be a good day for that. But I do feel that it's owed to her.
Indeed not. I've given her the day off to find time to relax after such a stressful evening.
I agree. Gambry can be quite a brute, I will say. If it's any consolation, I did leave the room when things started becoming troublesome.
She says, a apple and a bushel of bad apples can still be thrown out with the rest. And as she says that, the bouncer returns and waves you in, and she just raises her hand to wave you away.
Well, I appreciate your time as always. Perhaps next time I will be able to offer some
sort of saying goodbye. The bouncer grabs your shirt and pushes you out.
He kind of he enters the room and kind of dusts himself off really quickly.
Yeah,
Thanks for the help.
He brings you into the main room, and you see that Hobbs is there, and he says, "You're looking to buy?"
Yes, a couple things actually.
What you selling?
And at this, Carl, I'm just gonna
move on.
GM with you. What are you looking to buy potions and stuff?
I want to make drugs and poisons.
Okay. If you're looking to purchase some things, I'd like you to. Or do you know what you want to purchase, or are you just gonna ask for...
I sort of know what the cost is to make these things.
Okay.
So I could just say, if he can get the stuff for me, I know how much I have to spend.
Oh, you're gonna... Yeah, right. So we can do that.
You
and I'm
understand how the crafting rules work, Carl?
Benzel explained it to me, and he will again, I'm sure.
I use an Excel sheet to
you guys
track them.
figure this out
Yeah.
in chat, if that's okay.
Yep, of course.
And if you're gonna stuff, we will come back to that. And then you also said you're going to live a wealthy lifestyle. So if you can just take off 3 GP, and that'll just cover everything. So that's eating, whatever you want to do today, stuff like that.
Yeah, because I'm a badass.
Really yeah, I don't imagine purchases will take your entire day, so I'll kind of come back to you. But I am going to go to Yang. So Yang, elves, even half elves don't require that much sleep. So you wake up the next morning, you wake up in the afternoon. You can hear the drizzle outside. What do you want to do?
So after, seeing how it's already afternoon, I might just try to figure out exactly what that person, the name I got that might have the sword, try to figure out who he is. And I could go try to see if Leslie know where I should start, or maybe actually I might go see Hobbs if I don't have any idea of where to start.
Here's how we're going to do this. So for your downtime, you're going to be trying to look for information. So
Yes.
here's how it's going to work. So each day you can spend 8 hours trying to gather information on Donovan Matthews. The way that it works is you can choose one of these roles. So knowledge, local, diplomacy, intimidate, bluff, or stealth. You get an additional +3 bonus just because of Abbott Shore. Like there's lots of people to talk to and whatnot.
Okay.
You can also spend for every 10 GP. This also like just, RP wise, this could be spent at Hobbs or just like random bribes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Every 10 GP spent gives you a +1 bonus, and I'm actually going to cap that at +5 maximum, so you can spend 50 GP in one day. The way that it works basically is using the research rules from Ultimate Intrigue, which I will just explain. Because we don't have a lot of ranks and stuff yet, you have to make a DC 20 check, one of these of your choice. And if you succeed, you roll a d4 plus your intelligence. And the KP that you can see on this thing is the equivalent of like HP for information. So it simulates.
So I have to kill.
Right. You have to kill the mystery, more or less.
Fuck yeah. This is D&D. It's a mystery. You got to kill it.
So
now I do not have control of my character sheet still.
Don't worry about it. I took this one from the thing. We're not going to ever come. You don't have to control your tokens on this screen, so don't worry about it.
But I mean, I can't roll shit.
Why?
Because I don't have control of my character sheet.
Man, you people in your character sheets, so much work.
Yeah, you guys are scrubs.
Oh, did you just add this? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I just did. I was busy working on my adventure beer. I'm sorry.
There you go.
All right. So,
So you can make a knowledge local, diplomacy, intimidate, bluff, or stealth.
I'll start with a knowledge local. Sure. I won't spend anything. 20 unnatural.
Okay, so 23. So, that's it. That's the one roll you make for today. So now roll a d4 plus your intelligence.
Okay.
Please.
Plus intelligence, which is +2. So +2. A 3.
Okay. So you take this to 7 of 10, which does give you a little bit of information. So, as you basically, because you don't spend any gold, you don't ask Hobbs for anything, but you do start your search at Nancy's. So heading back into the poor district, you basically just begin asking around. Is there anyone in particular you want to ask, or
not specific? I mean,
you just walk up to random strangers and be like,
"Yeah,
do you know who this person is?" Okay,
that doesn't work. I'd probably start with Lauren if she's here. Anybody I recognize. If worst. Yeah, because I would go see Obbs, but if I'm not paying money and he's not gonna say anything, then
yeah. So spending the day. Well, he could, but I mean, you didn't, right? So you begin basically by asking people that you know. They give you more or less the same information that you somewhat knew already. Donovan Matthews is a historian that has an interest in collecting history on each of the great kingdoms in the world and cataloging them. Unfortunately, as you continue, there's a few dead ends that you find here and there. So largely you don't make huge progress, but you as the day sort of winds down, you know where to leave off the next day. It's not sort of you're finished.
Okay,
it's
so
you know that he's a historian, and people more or less say you should go ask around the universities in Abbott Shore. But we're basically just going to use this for gathering information, unless there's anything else you would like to do on this particular day.
No, I guess I would just probably do my usual routine of meditation and maybe just some light training, not to just to keep myself.
So while I move on, then I'm actually going to show you this as well to also potentially. I added another downtime thing people can do. This kind of goes for anybody, so you can read that if you want.
Downtime.
While we move on to. What kind of cost do you want to make per day? What sort of lifestyle are you living?
Oh, I will have the 3 silver one average.
Okay. So please deduct 3 silvers from your character sheet, and then we will move on to Thorindil. So same day you wake up, your window a little bit open, some water is dribbling into your inn room. You were probably awoken by Yang leaving his room. Despite being a full-blooded elf, sort of the shenanigans that you guys got up to the night previous have put off your sleep schedule.
Okay. Thorindil will get up out of bed and go to his desk, or if there is a table in the room, and begin scribing some scrolls.
Great. So you can do your necessary roll for that. And you can also let me know what you're going to do for daily cost.
I'll do 3 silver.
Great. Okay. And you can do that roll now.
Yeah, I take
please.
10 if you'll
Okay.
allow that.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I will. Yeah, for scribing scrolls. And that is a success, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you sort of just spend the day in your room, going over your spells, more or less relaxing after a somewhat hectic adventure out in Woodfield. Begin to scribe some scrolls. The day goes over pretty like nothing really happens. The rain outside drives out. Most of the rowdiness on the streets of Abbottshire. The air is definitely getting warmer as summer is just beginning to roll around. And you spend the day focused on your tasks. Gorgon.
Gorgon is going to spend the day trying to fix his pistol.
Okay, and you are also taking 10 on craft.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. And daily cost is what?
I went with poor.
Okay, so 1 silver a day. So you also, Gorgon, just sort of sitting, smoking, tinkering in your room. Both you and Thorindil have to leave occasionally just to go pick up supplies here and there. Your progress on your pistol is coming along as you're continuing to sort of work away in your own chambers, and you basically aren't disturbed.
I see
during-
Gorgon in the hallway and go, "Hi, Gorgon."
Gorgon says, "Hello, Thorindil. Progress?"
Going expertly well.
Gorgon says, "I think mine will be done shortly. Another 10-ish days, and I should have it done."
Excellent.
Cool.
Continue,
and
GM.
Cassie. Luke, if you're here. Unless you're muted.
Mutaro.
I'm here.
So on this same day, you are one of the last of the PCs to wake up. What do you want to do today?
So what's happened? I kind of missed the.
Nothing. You're
part.
on downtime. What would Cassie do on? You wake up in the afternoon. You can go get food if you want. Yeah.
She was going to be buying a new costume and some other things.
So you're going to be purchasing some stuff today.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
go shopping, boys.
Also, I will be living the poor lifestyle.
Okay, so purchasing stuff won't take exactly all day. You can just relax if you want. But after you go buy,
I was thinking of I was going to give this training a go.
this training thing a whirl.
I don't know if it's really worth it though, because it says like
It's a high DC, like 22.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a pretty high DC.
Well, yeah,
You'd
that's
almost have
kind
to
of
like roll in that 20, like 90. Yeah, I understand. Like that's why it's set up. I'm gonna do it anyways though,
okay.
But a free reroll is pretty sweet
right?
to have. Yeah.
So yeah, you can go ahead. You can choose an ability score, roll if you wish. Strength, index, whatever. Which one do you want to
I'm
roll?
gonna go with strength.
Okay. So I believe the DC is 22. Hey, look at that.
20.
so
Oh, wow.
where do you train exactly? Like,
The
With
rooftops.
Qui-Gon
The
Jinn?
rooftops.
It probably would be the rooftops. Like I'd be running around, climbing them, jumping from roof to roof.
I like it. Assassin's Creeding. So, after sort of like purchasing some stuff during the day and without really anything to do, you do see Anna leave the Blue Boot partway through the day. Like as you come back, if you ask what she's doing, she just says that she's going to see Rosemary, and you begin sort of like jumping from roof to roof, sort of like trying to stretch out your legs. And as you do so, you find like you start getting more comfortable with like the leaps and whatnot. You find that despite your training with your uncle, which certainly increased your skills, having a chance to really like practice them in a somewhat controlled environment helps you extensively, and you get 1 training point.
Rad.
Yeah, I think I said that they like run out after a while, but I think I'm not going to do that. Like you can just keep it. So then we're gonna go to Gamry. So Gamry, you are the last one to awaken this day. And just for you, I also, if you can't think of anything you want to do, I also have, if you just want to get drunk and dick around in Abbott Shore, I also made a time for that. But you can do whatever you want. So you awaken the next day, feeling a little groggy after the shenanigans the evening previous. But what would Gamry do? Question we all ask ourselves.
Okay, my internet's been choppy here, but okay, Gamry wants to live the average lifestyle, and Gamry's been reflecting on his life these last few weeks, and he kind of feels like he's fallen from grace, and like he has no idea who he is anymore. He's just following around these magic freaks. He's watching like weird rat columns and men coming out of them, and like this is pretty bizarre for Gamry. He's killed a lot of people in his life, but these weeks have been especially.
Well, everything in moderation, right?
I like how Gamry reevaluating his life is not like all these people I've killed. It's like those fucking weirdos I'm hanging with.
You fell into a wrong crowd.
But besides reflecting,
how does Gamry refresh?
Gamry would like to go and train and feel like a knight again. And I'm going to go to that Coliseum to train strength.
I like it. So heading into the Nobles District, you get a much harder time sort of at the gate, despite the fact that you've come through here before, particularly in the middle of the day. You find, people are questioning you. They ask you, like, if you're a Clovarian. How do you answer that when they ask if you're a Clovarian?
Gamry's proud of his heritage as a Gamelonian.
Okay, so they kind of give you a bit of a hard time, and part of your daily cost actually goes to paying off the guards. Like they make you wait for a really fucking long time until you basically get the idea, like, oh, I see, these guys are just shaking me down, more or less. You pay them a couple of silvers. The guards seem happy enough with that and allow you to proceed. The Nobles District is, like many of the houses are painted white and green and gold. Several of them have very nice gardens, and there's creeping willows that drape across the streets as the water's sort of like dripping on you, and you make your way towards the Colosseum in the center of the city. You are rather disappointed as you find the this glorious arena. As you proceed, actually seems that though at times it certainly was a gladiator arena at some point, but it looks like, at least on this particular day, it is serving as a theater, as parts of it. Like as you enter, you find that there is a dress rehearsal like happening in the rain, and they're trying to just practice in this arena. But there's a large open thing. It just doesn't look like it's a public space.
Well, Gamry will settle for an alleyway. You can smash over dumpsters or something.
Okay. so you head nearby the arena and head into one of the alleys and practice your sword play, freaking out some of the locals, but just sort of like practicing on your own. So you can make a ability
fail.
Okay. So yeah, smashing dumpsters with your greatsword doesn't quite simulate what you're looking for. You figure perhaps training with your comrades might provide you with a little more leg room, but unfortunately throughout the day, your practice, it's not that it's for naught, just you don't feel like it was as effective as you would have liked.
Yeah.
So rotating back around to Carl, is there anything else that Leslie would want to do today after purchasing stuff, or?
Someone's got a TV going in the background. You gotta mute.
Carl?
No, it's my band.
Oh, whatever. Right.
Okay, well, Carl is gone, so we'll...
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking. I was muted. Did you get my my whisper? I can send it again.
Yeah,
This
hold
one.
on.
Right there.
Oh,
I just
okay.
sent it again.
Okay.
So you want me to just do these rolls?
Yes, please. For crafting poison and for the other thing you're doing.
That's the one. And this bar has too many fucking things on it. There we go. And that.
So you spend the day doing the thing I'm going to assume you don't want everyone to know about.
That's right.
And you're making good progress on the former and decent progress on the latter.
Excellent.
So you all sort of spend the day doing your respective tasks, returning to the Blue Boot sort of later in the evening and having a, relatively quiet day to rest, reflect, just sort of recover after watching a fat man be birthed from a horde of rats. So we're gonna rotate back around again and go to Yang. The next day is clear outside. It's a little bit colder than it has been the last few days in Abbotsford. What would you like to do today, Yang?
I will resume my investigation.
Okay, great. So you can choose another roll. You have to decide if you're going to bribe anyone before you roll.
Okay. No. Well, before bribing anybody, what I'm going to do is just try to ask about Donovan at the university, see if it gives any new information. So I'm going to roll a knowledge local again for a 17.
Does that add the +3 bonus for just being in Abbotsford?
No, it would be 20.
Okay, so then roll a d4 plus your int, please.
Two. Another 3.
Okay, and that gives you a little bit more information. So asking around at the university, you find that, you are rebuffed a few times because people aren't, students in particular aren't huge on questioning from some half-elf samurai guy, but you get some information from the more.
He's very polite, though.
open-minded. Yeah, but he's also kind of weird.
I know.
Yang asks around, and you learn that Donovan is actually a Cloverian human that served briefly in the military campaigns against the rebelling territories as a war advisor and a diplomat, and he's renowned for his cantankerous nature. So you learn from many students that Donovan Matthews has come to Abbot Shore before, albeit briefly, like if there's one thing you learn about him, like Donovan is an asshole, and everybody seems to share that opinion of him, that he's sort of like a crotchety old man. And he is a Cloverian. So that basically, to like elaborate, he belonged to the empire that previously owned Tor, that Tor sort of like broke away from.
Cool.
So you can draw what conclusions from that as you wish.
My conclusion is, of course, he's an asshole. He stole my family's sword.
There you go. Then we go to Thorindil. You are going to be scribe scrolling again today?
No, I'll do some woodworking today.
Okay. Are you also going to be taking 10 on a craft check, or?
Yep.
Okay. Are you crafting something, or are you doing this to make money?
No, I'm crafting.
Yeah, but
Scroll
like making
box.
something.
Yeah, I'm making something for me.
Okay, great. So why don't you roll that, and then something happens today to you.
Right, I'm just gonna take 10 on the check.
Oh, okay. No fun. So as you head out onto the streets and like purchase some woodworking materials, in the artisans district, you find Abbot Shore is plentiful with sort of like soft woods. They don't have a lot of hardwoods, which explains like why their buildings are mostly made of stone. But you head back to the Blue Boot to sort of like work in your own area, I suppose. Like unless you want to work, like try to find a workshop or something.
No.
No. But as you do so, a little after noon, maybe like 2 p.m., you hear a knock at the door of your inn, or at the door of your room. And before you even like get to the door, you can smell heavy cigar smoke from the other side of the door.
I don't remember. The only NPC I can think of would be Hobbs. I'll go to the door and say, "Who is it?"
You hear a voice from the other side say, "You got a message."
Very well. Slip it under the door.
No, I'm here to bring you a message from Hobbs.
I see. I suppose I will open the door.
He stabs you in the heart and says, "For the watch." No, so you see one of the boys on the other side that you don't like recognize by name or anything from Nancy's, but he clearly looks like he's one of the boys that like serves there. Probably like someone's nephew or something. The boy ashes his cigar on the door frame, and he says, "Hob, you're Thorindil, right?
I am.
Hobbs wants to see you. He says don't bring all your friends."
I see. Very well, thank you. I'll give the sorry, he was a human?
No, he's a young boy. He just has been smoking from the age of 2, so he
I'll
sounds like that.
Give him a copper.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So he tips his cap and says, "Thank you for your generosity," and he scampers down the hall.
All right. I will set my work aside for now and head to Nancy's establishment.
Hobbs actually meets you outside, and as you are walking towards Nancy's, he walks in the other direction, and he sort of like walks beside you and says, "Our mutual contact I've been buying your goods from," and he like wipes the side of his nose with his finger to sort of like insinuate he's talking about scrolls and stuff.
I see.
She wants to meet with you.
Oh, really? Okay.
says she's not going to be willing to pass anything else along until she knows who she's selling to.
I see. Could you perhaps tell me anything about this person, Hobbs?
Unfortunately, I know little as well. It was a new contact. I'm not quite in the business of getting mixed up with you folk.
I see.
He begins to walk you down an alleyway.
All right. I'm going to sense motive him real quick.
Sure.
Some shifty kind of stuff. $14.
He seems legit. Yeah. Seems
Okay.
on business. Seems like he is not like just leading you to your death. He
Okay, good.
Yeah,
That's,
he brings
that's
you
the
to an
important thing.
this is how my adventure kicks off. You get stabbed in the alley. So he brings you to a sewer grate. He opens it up and leads you below. The scent of sewer runoff has become oh so familiar to your nostrils, but it's a little dampened by the previous day's rain. You're led down as you can hear sort of the sloshing as water runs off towards the port, and you are led through the sewers for some time, Hobbs largely in silence as you sort of like walk along. Suddenly he turns off to the left, and as you follow him down, you find that the water begins to echo behind you as you enter into darker chambers. And ahead you see a light, because you have dark vision too, right?
Correct.
So
And
yeah,
low
so you
light.
right. So you see a rather small chamber up ahead that appears to have once served as like a room where people could like lower and raise the water level here. Like you can see like there's a few mechanical winches on one wall, and as you enter, you see that there is a small table with a candle on it and two chairs. And when you enter, Hobbs stands near the far wall, and seems to like await for something. You don't see any other entrances or exits to this room. It's just like a small side chamber.
Okay. I will I'll look around the room sort of expectantly. You want me to throw down a perception maybe?
No. So, no point. So when you enter and sort of like look around, you see the far wall begins to shimmer oddly and melts away, revealing a wall about 5 feet behind that one. And between the what you determine rather quickly to be an illusory wall is a young girl. We'll show you in a second.
Good thing Gamry's
she
not here.
She has red hair and freckles. You see that, unlike in the picture, she has what appears to be like a large black bruise on the left side of her face. And as the wall melts away, she steps forward. You can see that she is wearing a gray cloak, and along it she has an odd pendant to be clasping the cloak together. It's what appears to be like a silver 6-fingered hand.
Can I do a knowledge on that?
Of course you may. What knowledge would you like to do?
I'll throw down Arcana, History, Planes, Religion.
No.
Were you
So-
looking for one knowledge or?
No. This is good. This is good. So I'm gonna say with knowledge arcana, with that you recognize the sigil rather quickly. The sigil belongs to a group called the Bandersnatch. By a lot of people, they are considered to be like a folk
Nice.
legend, but you know that they are a group of clandestine mages that basically like oppose the persecution of mages. Think of Magneto's X-Men. These are
Okay.
these guys. Yeah, they generally think that they are higher up on the social ladder, and they are blamed for everything. And
No
I
doubt.
guess with Arcana, that it's sort of mixed. Part of the Bandersnatch organization is dedicated to like rescuing people who are claimed to be mages, but they are also responsible for magical terrorism. So you recognize that pretty quickly. And I guess with a religion, that the six-fingered hand used to belong to some sort of old religion in the world, like a rather ancient one that the Bandersnatch have dedicated themselves to, but the Bandersnatch themselves don't revere the religion. They just use their old sigil.
I see. Rather cunning illusion, I must say.
She says, so you're the one that we've been dealing with this time.
Indeed, I am.
Are you a mule or you're a magic user yourself?
I am a magic user.
Let's see what you've got.
Torindel looks slightly surprised. I suppose Torindel will.
Okay.
Torindel will cast his own spell, an illusion, on the wall, but he'll make the wall cobble together as sort of a golem type creature and have it sort of move about the room.
Like menace her.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah, Hobbs looks really uncomfortable, and he backs into the hallway, and he walks to the end. You can still see him. He's like keeping watch, but he's clearly like, I don't want to be here if shit goes down. The girl, however, like looks over at it. She smirks somewhat and says, I learned to cast illusions like that when I was 7. This is the best you elves can come up with.
Killer Thrindle.
Thrindle says, it's not all about attaining high power quickly. You must understand your powers. You must have control.
And how exactly is this illusion going to save you when they put a noose around your neck, elf?
Oh, there are other ways to avoid a noose than illusions.
So the girl puts her hands in her pockets. You notice as she does so, she is carrying like a haversack on her back. And she says, my name is Annie. What's yours?
I am Thrindle.
And where did you get your powers, Thrindle? You were born with them or taught?
I was taught. And you?
She says a bit of both, actually. And I'm going to allow you to make a sense motive here.
Yeah,
so you
let's-
will
let's-
notice, So you will notice on the character sheet, there's like an influence chart. I'm going to be trying to do talking to people stuff a little differently for this adventure. If it turns out to be too cumbersome, I'm going to throw it away. But we'll see how it goes. So
I got 4.
yeah, you can't pick up much from her. You can come to your own conclusions or anything, but you're not sure, what's really going on. She says, I work for a mage sympathetic organization.
Yes,
And-
sorry, just a moment. I have the name.
Bandersnatch.
The Bandersnatch. I know of them.
So she says, I suppose I shouldn't wear this so openly, and she taps on her amulet.
Indeed.
And what have you heard about our organization?
That you are magical sympathizers, but that you also go about things in what I see as an improper manner.
So clearly you haven't been on the wrong end of the executioner's axe. Otherwise, you'd understand that our way is the best way.
You humans are so brash.
So she
What do you mean, you humans?
her brow furrows somewhat, and she says, "We're hoping to find others like us, and perhaps in time you might understand why we mages have to stick together. Anyways, now that I've met you, and I'm sure that you're not working for the enemy, I've brought some goods that perhaps you're interested in. Along with that, I'd like you to keep this just in case you change your mind." And she hands you a similar amulet. I will tell you right now, like, if you wear this out in public, people won't like recognize it immediately. But if anyone does know what it is, like,
Yeah.
they're gonna
No,
like
like Thorindel, like from his learning, they have certain trappings and like that they use, but he specifically does not use them for those same reasons.
Yep. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So along with that, she brought some stuff with her. I am going to say, like, even though Thorindel is here, if anyone is interested in purchasing any of this stuff, I'm not going to make you, like, Thorindel comes back and tells everyone what she's selling, and then you get, like, go back and forth or whatever. Like, if you just see anything, you can just say, I'm interested in purchasing that. You'll also notice that there is a sizable markup because magic items.
Wow, she's got an evil scroll.
So you can you can look that over. You don't have to do it right now because I'd like to keep things moving. But she says, if there's nothing else, we'll be here in Abbott Shore for a little while, and a few of our contacts may reach out to you. Where are you staying in Abbott Shore?
I am at the Blue Boot. You can contact me there.
She looks like she's sort of like thinking to herself for a second and says, if you ever need us, you can send one of your runners to the Cinder Hound. And it's just like some random inn in the slums district. She says, we have a contact there that can help you. We always, we mages need to stick together.
I agree.
You should also be aware that we've received reports that there's a few relatively high-ranking members of the Order of the New Dawn making rounds in Abbott Shore.
I've noticed some, although, wait, how much did I know? I don't remember if I knew that they were or not. Anyways, the party would have probably conveyed the information to me, so I've seen some of them about. That was
okay. So she says, "I'd suggest that you keep your spell casting to a minimum until we're sure that they're out of the city."
very good.
Hmm.
It was nice meeting
I'll
you.
also, like, while you're sort of like looking this stuff over, I will allow you to make another sense motive check. Basically, the way that it's going to work, and this is like elaborating for everyone, like every like 5-ish minutes you talk to somebody, you can make a sense motive to try to like learn shit about them.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
not the
So
same.
yeah, she seems pretty like reserved, despite her age. Like she's probably like 13 years old. Like she's even younger than Anna.
Wow.
She
That's insane.
you know, she like has this bag of stuff that she lays out and sort of like shows you, and as you purchase or not or whatever, she walks out the same way that you came in, and she heads down her own sewer passageway, sort of taking her time. Hobbs, sort of like smoking a cigarette, leads you up to the surface and ashes out and says, "Good, now I won't have to be the mule between you two."
Trindle nods. Well, thank you, Hobbs, for your
Yeah, we're gonna move
troubles, and I'll give him 5 gold. Actually, 8 gold. Because
Okay.
I'm poor.
He takes it and sort of like nods and heads off to Nancy's. Gorgon, what would you like to do?
Gorgon will continue working on his pistol.
Okay. And Cassie.
You're muted.
I want to suck some dirt.
I'm gonna spend the day and take 20 on a craft clothing check to deck out my new costume.
Wow, they are still jamming.
Having a good time.
And then I would also like to buy that potion of true strength.
Okay.
Was it a potion or?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
it is a potion.
Well,
Yeah.
it should actually be. It should be an oil of true strike, not a
Wow,
potion.
whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Same diff.
Yeah, actually, and I don't know if anybody cares, but actually, Threadle might care. The scroll of reduced person, I think, Anna's gonna buy, so we can share that. You can add it to your repertoire.
Okay, and then I'll make. Yeah, okay.
Okay, neat. And then we move on to Gamray. Sir Gamsalot. Remember to take away the gold for this day as well, everybody.
5 days in total, right?
Oh, crap.
Until your mom's
We're
funeral.
on our second.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. This
Okay, so this is day 2 of downtime.
Mm-hmm.
Gamry feels like smashing more stuff.
Okay.
what
Yeah.
else?
Well, yeah. Exactly.
Make your training check, please.
Yeah.
So you head to another alleyway and sort of practice by yourself, but you find it's not as satisfying smashing things that don't scream. Yeah, you just find your training doesn't like really pay off all
Gammy's
that
like,
much.
that's for sure.
Is that the voices telling him that? It should be.
And
Can that be canon?
Leslie, I'd like you to make your 2 rolls, please.
Yes, and I'd also like to, if there's additional time, I want to maybe try to make some alchemist fire. But anyway, I will roll these.
You like one craft check a day.
Okay, there's that, and there is that. Okay, another 18.
Okay. And actually, with that, your latter project you find is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel that you could complete the task with what you have done so far. So, if I'm reading this correctly, you're going to be giving this to somebody, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll just leave it at that then. And I will wait for further instructions. So on the 3rd day, you guys awake, and it's a little bit windy. It's starting to get quite a bit warmer as summer is beginning to roll around, and we go to Yang again.
Sweet. So once again, until I find that sword, my mind is focused.
Got it.
Sharpened blade, and I will roll a skill. I think. So what did I learn exactly yesterday? Okay. Oh yeah. So
The chat.
he's kind of like this guy.
Or not
Yeah.
the chat, the handout, sorry.
Okay. Oh, okay, good. So I should probably have read that before. I'll just fucking roll the
That's
thing.
I told you anyways. You haven't learned anything important. Just that he's an asshole and that he's a historian. So
Yeah.
just-
So do I know where his residence
Nope.
is?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Do I know any? Okay, and I don't know anything about necessarily the Donovan family. I'll go with a. Maybe I'll try my hand. Yeah, I'll try it maybe more at the university, or maybe some nobles could know. I'll
Okay.
probably spend some money. You said it was like what, 50 gold for?
Every 10 GP gives a +1 bonus to a maximum of 50 gold for +5.
Okay, I will pay 10 GP to. So I'll try to bribe my way around this time to get a little
Okay.
bit more information.
Yeah,
So-
the citizens of Abinshore seem all too eager to take bribes.
So this guy, oh wow, 24 plus 3, 27, 28 with the bribe.
Okay. Same thing, unfortunately, because it's not a nat 20. So D4 plus your int, please. There's only 4 KP left, so you might actually like finish this today.
So D4 plus, 2, yeah. And that's another 3.
So you take it down to 1. So you do get more information though, but you haven't learned everything. So proceeding into the more noble district, you actually talk to people who met Donathan Matthews in person. Quite a few of them are like, you need what is it? You need an appointment to meet with them, and then a few bribes later, you have quick meeting with some nobility. You learn that Donovan's writing are somewhat bland, and as currently, it's all the rave to write and read about the rebellions from the Cloverine Empire. Donovan's single-mindedness is his most recognizable feature. He is reclusive, abrasive, and single-minded. This result also gives you a rough description of his appearance. So you know what he looks like now.
Nice.
But you don't have an address yet. But you do know, because you're at like 1 KP left, you know who to talk to tomorrow to get your final bits of information.
Excellent.
Okay. We go to Thurindil.
Okay. I am going to study the pin she gave me.
Sure.
I'm going to do a detect magic spellcraft check on it.
Okay, it is not magical.
It is not, eh?
No, it is not.
Okay.
It's a small brass amulet. It looks like it could be used to clasp onto something. It has like a pin back on it, but as you look it over to, for any sort of like magics or anything, it does not appear to do so. It looks like it is simply a icon of recognition.
I will find somewhere moderate. Oh, I guess I'll basically keep it with my spell book.
Okay.
And today I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I guess I'll craft some more. I was interested in the paper, but I hadn't actually got it unless I could perhaps obtain one at the...
Yeah, you guys can... Yeah, it's fine. I mean, despite, like, you don't even really have to pay for them. Like, they're probably, like, on the ground
Yeah.
somewhere.
No, I
if
did...
there's any questions that you have in particular, like, yeah, it is cut off. I think that there was, like, a sentence or two, but when I did it, I was like, you know what, they're not important, so I'm just going to leave it like that.
Oh,
like,
okay. As long as it's not, like, key information is missed.
No, I imagine that this is the entire... that there's more Intrepid to this. This isn't the entire thing. There's
This
like
is
other
like the
articles
front
you can read.
page
Yeah. There's like, again, there's stuff in it about Leslie's mom's funeral, but you probably wouldn't recognize that unless you like you probably read Washington, but it wouldn't really mean anything to you guys. There's like work art. There's the classifieds, shit like that. It's not like a full-blown newspaper. It's a ye old newspaper, but it's not like
it would be
a piece of parchment. Like, it's been made on a printing press. So
I would like to look into... I kind of want to see what happened with the at the Cinder Press. I don't have knowledge local. I'll you know what, I'm gonna craft today, and then I'll come up with a better plan in the inconvening.
okay.
You could partner with Gorgon if you need knowledge local, buddy.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to?
Ask him. That's not going to interrupt your
I'd rather
crafting.
kill myself than help.
Conversation won't interrupt it.
Okay. Gorgon, tell me what you know about this Cinder Press.
Can I add my crafting on just so I don't forget at home?
Yeah.
Okay. So knowledge local Cinder Press, and my knowledge local is dump.
It's a mint.
Plus 6.
Okay. Well, it's a 10.
8 plus 6. I'm trained in knowledge local. 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's mint in Abbott Shore. It recently it's not one of the most renowned ones, but it is licensed to serve Torresian coin. You know that it is located inside the Nobles District, Not a whole lot else. You know that there was like a bit of, when the rebellion happened, like there was a bit of like, do we change our currency? Are we going to stay on like the gold standard? The Cinder Mint was pretty quick to like remedy that. It is owned by I sort of detailed Abbot Shore a little bit, and I don't know if this conflicts with anything that's been established previously, but after the rebellion, Abbot Shore more or less became a plutocracy. Like, there's a group of nobles that are simply nobles in that they are the richest. Like, they're not really related to the Empire's family in any regard. And one of the owners of the Cinder Press, a man named Timothy Renault, is like the equivalent of Abbot Shore nobility. In regards to this attack, you don't really have any. I don't see how knowledge local could really like help you.
Okay.
You know that the mint would be. You know that the mint would be extremely difficult to attack. Like, if somebody did this, it you couldn't just like blow the thing up, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll spend the rest of the day crafting. And then I will perhaps do something next turn.
Okay, Gorgon.
Gorgon spends the day crafting.
Okay. And Cassie, Sveltna.
I'd probably go another day at training.
Okay. Yeah, keep in mind a character may have.
Or wait, no, yeah, I can only have maximum one.
So, is there something you'd like to do instead? You don't have to do anything, but
Do the carousing.
just go get wasted.
Well, there's
Yeah.
all kinds of results.
It looks awesome,
Awesome.
for sure.
Great, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, why not? Let's go fucking cruising.
Sure. So
Rabble
you
rousing.
have to spend 3 GP, and then a charisma check.
Wow.
Unless is there anything in particular? Like, what is Cassie doing? Like, what are you actually doing? Just like wandering around talking.
Like, I was
to people?
making a new suit so I can like make myself look like a boy whenever I'm in the capital or anywhere close to where my family would be.
Right.
You already look like a boy.
But like for the carousing, if you want to do it, like what? Because carousing is basically like
actually, I'm gonna follow
go
Carl.
to the bar and start getting drunk. Okay, I like it. So this is gonna be stealth versus perception. So your stealth versus
Range
Leslie's perception.
penalties, don't forget that.
Well, yeah,
25.
I'm gonna keep it as fast as possible. So, Carl, make your perception check, please.
11.
So, just sort of like across the hall of the Blue Boot, Sveltna, you keep an eye on what Leslie is doing,
So I'm
because he
sitting
hasn't
in my
really-
bedroom.
because he hasn't really like gone yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and assume that he continues doing what he's doing. You can hear him working on like alchemical stuff in his room, like he leaves to get meals throughout the day. But you also, Luke, I'd also like you to make a perception check to see how much you can learn. So I'm gonna say Leslie is unaware that he is being watched, but we'll see what you actually learn.
10.
You don't learn a lot. Like you can't like sneak right into his room, but I imagine if you like come up to the door or the window or anything, you see that he is working on something like alchemical inside. He's like making notes in his notebook, doing
Leslie
potion
stuff.
making stuff. Yeah, doing like Leslie stuff. Cutting
Okay.
open a chicken. Doing the Dark Brotherhood ritual on the floor.
I appreciate that. Okay.
That's about it. Gamry.
Gamry's gonna really hone his skills at smashing dumpsters.
Okay. When first you don't succeed, keep smashing.
Oh, so close.
You are fined for destruction of property. So yeah, sort of like rotating through alleyways so you don't get in shit. I imagine you like find a nice, quiet, like public park and practice, and it's not that unusual actually. Like you just find an area not in the noble district, and like people really don't seem like. Regular folks stare at you, but it's not that unusual as you're like off training by yourself. And you find a decent place to start practicing. Like guards don't even really like, give you the slant eye. I'm allowed to say that. And then finally we go to Leslie before something happens this day.
Okay, so I'm gonna do something a little different today.
Because of the nature of the stuff that you're doing, you should probably whisper the rules to me. Now that I think about it, if you're gonna keep doing what you're doing.
Oh yeah, I wanted to do that in the first place, but I didn't.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have said anything.
I apologize. I thought about that now.
Because I'm being randomly watched now. So anyway,
My bad, Carl. I should have.
That's okay. It's not you mitigating. 1d20 plus 7. How does that work? I don't even know how to GM roll, or I mean, I don't think I can whisper rolls.
I don't know if you can dash whisper.
I think it's just /WGM, and then you can just /W space GM. I think.
No, it doesn't let you.
I think it would
roll.
be beard. -W beard. I don't know if you can dash roll after that.
Backslash. It's
just whispered to me. Worked.
yeah. It's /GM roll.
I don't think.
Oh,
I can
that
GM
works
roll.
as a player too, eh?
Oh, it does too.
interesting.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll.
Okay,
I don't care. So,
So the +7. The +7. Okay, I
So
know what
any-
the +7 is.
Wait, you could see that? Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
can
that's
see
why.
that.
That's why it's /GM roll.
That's dope. Okay,
And
so
then other one, please. Your because that'll be your one check, and then your second check can be the plus. What is it?
I rolled that out in the open so you can see it. Craft alchemy.
Okay. So you don't care about that one. Okay.
Nah, I mean,
All right.
I'm an alchemist. So I
sure about. I'm just trying to like get through it. You'll have time to like add this stuff, but yeah. So you're pretty confident about your other project. I don't know how you want to proceed in that. I would suggest Skype me when you decide.
Yeah.
So on this particular day, like about a little after the afternoon, like 3-4ish p.m. As some of you are hanging out in the Blue Boot, I imagine it would actually. There's a knock at Gorgon's door.
Gorgon fumbles with what he's got. Says, "Who is it?"
And you hear Anna say, "It's me."
Gorgon opens the door.
And you see Anna standing with a cleaned up Rosemary. And Anna says, "We've been invited to dinner with Michael. We're supposed to meet him in the Cracked Mug."
Cracked Mug sounds like a good place, Gorgon says. Why, I'd be delighted to attend.
And she says, "I'm going to try to find everyone else, but if you wouldn't mind, perhaps you would be better suited to assisting me find everyone."
He says, whatever you'd prefer, Anna.
Rosemary.
And,
Oh wait, no, that is Anna. Sorry.
no, it's Anna.
My bad.
Rosemary's just there. She's really quiet. Like she just looks you over, but she last time she's not like going crazy or anything, but she like her cheeks are still sunken. Her face is darkened. Just looking at her, you can tell like you remember where she's been. So just because I don't want it to be like take overly long time, everyone is more or less tracked down and is led down here. I think this is the right place. Yeah, I labeled it, but it's teal, so it's hard to read. You are led to the inner district. And as you head to one of the inner areas, you see a single-story timber frame building that is shaped like the roof of it looks like a ship. Like it looks like someone has actually like taken a ship, turned it upside down, and set it on top of this building. It looks like an alehouse, basically, like a long alehouse with a ship for a ceiling. And you see that there is a painting on the front of a cracked mug with golden ale spilling out. You head inside and imagine almost like it's like a steak restaurant. Like it's a place that you're supposed to go that's like got nice food in it, but it's not like the highest thing ever. Like when you enter, there's like higher people of a higher status here, but they're not like super high up on the it's not like a noble restaurant. There's sort of the menu, but as you enter, Anna and Rosemary sit down beside Ironsides. Has at the far end of the alehouse, like you walk past all these tables where people are like drinking and eating and stuff and sort of like having a good time, and you head up to a raised area where Michael Ironsides is sitting with another man, and as you approach, they are swapping war stories, and the man says to Ironsides, I miss service on the ships. It's despite my last journey, it's something to be said that I truly regret not being involved in the Navy when I was younger. And Ironsides waves his hand and says, no one builds ships like the Torresians. And he raises a mug of ale, and the other gentleman drinks deeply with him. As you all sort of arrive and sit down, Ironside stands up and says, Gear, these were the people that I was telling you about. These are the ones that helped me with my dear Rosemary. And he puts a hand on the young girl's shoulder, and she sort of like nods, embarrassed. My friends, this is Mr. Warren Gear. And the large man holds a hand out. There's sort of like a strange aroma coming from him, but the man holds his hand out and sort of like greets each of you.
Are we all
like
there?
You mean like a perfumed aroma,
No.
or a?
Put your finger on. No, it smells
Body odor?
more like a spice of some sort, like a cumin sort of scent coming off of him.
Craft alchemy.
So as you sit down, there is Ironsides says Gear happens to be working for a rather prestigious individual and has come here looking for specialized folks. And Gear says, mercenaries. I recommended you.
See,
How very
Well, we would-
wise.
of course, have to hear what he would hire us for before we decided to take the job.
Gear says, perhaps I'd be willing to share that with you, but first, what's your resume? Ironsides has told me about your rescue of Rosemary and a few details in that accord, but I'd like to get to know you before I divulge any details.
Gorgon says, well, myself, I served my military service under the Bryn Empire. I'm a sapper of high esteem and well-known demolitions expert as well.
I have one of the sharpest minds in all of the world. I'm a renowned detective and chemist.
I am trained warrior, samurai of the Orun Empire. And my blade is, I'm glad to meet you.
Have you seen my sword?
I do not speak of the acts I have committed. I'm going to try and intimidate him.
Sure. So here's actually what we're gonna do. Yeah, and that's fine. You can absolutely keep that. First, people can make sense motive checks, and in fact, all of you can, because I imagine it's not like one sentence. You guys start like talking to Gear about the stuff that you've done.
What check are we making?
Sense motive.
Sense motive first.
Okay, just
So Luke passes.
sensing them
Brindle
motives.
passes now.
Huh. I think I'm good.
Camry passes, so 4. Okay.
Yes.
So at this, you guys can choose any of these things that you're not aware of. Each of you can choose to like reveal one if you wish. I'm not always going to do it this way. Like sometimes you might have to like steer a conversation a certain direction to get this information. But as we're sort of like, I'm kind of demoing this, you guys can each choose like what you want to learn about him.
Get his likes and dislikes so that in biases we need to manipulate him.
So you'll just get like one piece of that information.
Manipulate
So first,
him.
Luke, what would you like to learn?
I'm
And
gonna
if
go
you
with
want
his
to,
legs.
sure. Okay, so I will give you one of his legs. And I only gave him one. He is a go-getter. So
He likes go-getters.
Warren likes
or-
people who put go-getters. He likes people who put money where their mouth is. So as you guys are talking to him, you can tell that he seems to like take pretty well, particularly when you're like, I don't speak of the stuff that I do. He actually seems to like that, and that he doesn't like people who like are silver-tongued, more or less, like people who just like talk a lot of game but don't back it up.
Like less.
Right. So Thrindo, what would you like to learn?
His biases.
Sure. One of his bias.
Elves.
Elves, there's none, but I will give you one on mages. So you sort of like, it's not just like looking at him you get this opinion. It's more from like conversation, sort of being, but you can tell that he doesn't seem to like bat an eye when you guys not like mention that you're mages, but just say, he can tell that you're mercenaries. You might have abilities that you're not flaunting, and he doesn't seem perturbed by that. So Warren isn't like sympathetic to mages, but he's not like hateful towards them. So there's no penalty for charisma checks towards mages. Now we have Gamray. Actually, you passed. What would you like to learn about him?
Is there more biases that he has?
Yes, he has another bias. Would you like to learn that one?
Yes.
So nobles and the faithful. He likes people of noble birth. And last one is Yang. What would you like to learn?
Attitude. I want to know.
Sure. So this tells you his starting attitude.
Oh,
No. I'll tell you like as it changes. If you want to know that, it's up to you.
Okay. No, actually, I'm gonna try to figure out one of his dislikes. I'm gonna try not to offend him.
Sure. His weight. He doesn't like people commenting on his weight. That's his dislike.
Denzel.
Okay. I'll take it. Whatever.
Denzel's already called him a fat ass.
Damn right, you'll take it.
So at that, there was an intimidate check made, and Warren,
What?
as you sort of just like all explain, yeah, like Cassie made one already. As you sort of explain like where you're at and what you guys are doing, Warren nods and says, as you guys like over dinner, basically, you Ironsides pays for everything. He orders everyone whatever they want on the menu and has a smoked fish delivered for everyone, which is sort of like the specialty here. And Gear says, as Ironsides mentioned, I'm working for a somewhat renowned individual some distance from here. Have any of you heard of Carter Foch?
I'm gonna do a knowledge check.
Yeah, well, it'll be knowledge local, so.
Oh, really? Wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
Let's
Or
see.
actually, knowledge engineering, too, as well.
Yang doesn't know what he is.
I should
Well-
know because I know everything.
You have knowledge engineering? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Someone's into my turn.
Gorgon, when you hear that name, like, you immediately, not like PTSD flashback, but pretty close. Like, you have vivid flashbacks of the Bryn Empire using firearms called, like, Foch fires, which was like a brand of musket. So you immediately recognize Carter Foch is a Torresian who makes firearms, and because of that, he is held in like pretty high esteem. He makes like specialty weapons.
He's kind of like the Smith and Wesson or the
Cold.
yeah
He did
Winchester.
Yeah.
He did invent guns, but he like
Yeah, but like that's what like the Winchester family is known for, right? They didn't invent the gun.
They might improve upon it and have their own models, etc.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but like it's
you know that Foch's firearms are like pretty regularly like passed around. They're good models. So Gear says, as you may or may not know, Carter Foch is attempting to start a new Torresian colony. After we gained our independence from the tyrants, and at that, Ironsides like raises his mug and drinks alone. Gear
Gorgon will
says,
drink with them.
Sure. So Gear says, one of the small colonies that the Cloverians were attempting to gain in the north was owned more by Torresians. It's called Stillgate. We have a bit of a problem with some of the locals there. We are hiring some professionals to assist us deal with this situation.
Oh.
Whoa, sound effects.
I think that's Luke. Luke, are you smoking away?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
he walks
he-
away with his thing on.
And it buzzes.
That's
Luke.
Stoner.
So, does anyone want to make any rolls on Stillgate or like ask Gear any questions?
Knowledge local on it?
Yes.
Fucking goddamn.
18.
18 gives you Stillgate.
Holy
Small
fuck.
for drinks.
Luke!
Want to start a new call without him?
Well, we can just kick him from the call for
Can
the
you
time
can you
being.
do that?
Can we just
I
like
just
mute
did
him?
it.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Stillgate is a small fur trading outpost that's located on like that northern continent, at the eastern edge of what's called the Dynas Frontier, just named for the explorer who found the region. The trading post ships furs, ore, and palm oil to the surrounding communities. The town has a population of around 60.
60? Like 60?
60 people, yeah, like 60.
Wow,
Approximately
wait.
60
So our
people.
party's like 10% of the town. Gorgon says, yes, I've heard of it, but nothing much of much note. What's he doing up north? Why would an esteemed firearms manufacturer be off in the frontier?
Two reasons. First, after the war, we hoped to gain possession of the colonies. As Tor is separated from the mainland, we can take all the strength that we can muster. He already had invested quite a bit of gold in the region, simply due to the hunting there. As you may or may not know, Foch is quite the hunter, the big game hunter himself, and the frontier served as a great place to gather, to hunt. After the war, he is attempting to start a full-blown Torresian colony there, of our first. I have the utmost faith in him. Unfortunately, the surrounding area is... the frontier has long been home to a tribe of gnolls. Are you familiar at all with these creatures?
What knowledge would that be?
Sorry, I was talking to Bridget. What was the
Knowledge.
creature name, Holm?
Knolls.
Knowles.
Gnolls.
Local is humanoids.
Well,
the
knowledge
human.
nature is what I'm going to ask for.
Pardon
Knolls
me?
what?
Knowledge nature, if anybody
Okay.
has it.
Nope.
16.
So you guys have like a, description of gnolls. The one thing I'm going to change more or less is like, so gnolls are hyena humanoid things. They are largely tribal. Change from like normal canon. Like they are savage, but they are not like innately evil. You know that they have like largely a tribal hierarchy. Gorgon would probably know that lots of them have almost like paganistic faiths. Like they worship, the mountains and stuff, and that they are largely nomadic. Warren goes on and says, one tribe in particular that has made its home near Stillgate, I have worked very hard to forge a diplomatic relationship with. Unfortunately, this tribe is in danger. Another larger conglomerate of Gnoll tribes sees this one as almost a traitor, and due to recent events, I'm worried that a slaughter could occur. We don't have very long to head to the region and remedy this situation.
So one one Gnoll tribe is gonna kill the other.
Yeah. Yang is listening. I guess he's gonna be just nodding.
Okay.
Doesn't want to take a decision for the group or anything.
Now, you won't be working alone, of course. We are hiring more professionals from Abbott Shore, but our ship will be leaving in 3 days. Though I can't give you an exact cost, I can assure you that I have Foch's utmost confidence, and he has been known to be rather generous to those that can assist him in his goals.
Perhaps we could confer as a group.
Of course you may. And he says,
I will BRB. Gorgon's in favor.
yeah, so Gear says, I will be staying at the Peacock's Tail. It's in the Nobles district, or you can contact Michael as soon as you come to a decision. If you have any other questions, you should enjoy this dinner before you go. And he sort of like goes back to
Oh, yeah, I will definitely
stuff.
do another respectful bow to thank him for his
Along with that,
generosity.
you guys can also like make more sense motive checks if you want, or like try to do like diplomacy or anything with him.
I want to
You
do
can talk to
a specific.
Michael or Rosemary, anything.
I want to do a specific sense motive on Michael.
Sure.
In regards
On
to like
Michael?
what's going, in regards to what's going on,
Sure.
like with my mom and stuff. Like, if there's 5.
No, you don't notice anything. Michael gets drunk. He gets drunk during the thing, and he puts a hand on as you guys are sort of like eating and drinking and stuff. He says, "Gear, I can assure you, they got my Rosemary back, and I have it. I have it on good authority that these people they put their money where their mouth is, Gear. Believe me, we would have loved to have them when we were slaughtering those Clovarians." And Michael seems
At
like
least
really,
Gamry.
really patriotic.
Gamry could have helped cleave them.
So just to sort of like elaborate, just in case it's not super clear, the only information Gear has given you is that his benefactor, basically Carter Faj, who is hoping to take control of a frontier settlement and make it into like a full-blown colony, is having trouble with Null tribes that are fighting each other. That's all you guys really know.
Right.
Also, just the timelines there, Leslie, that means that the morning after your mom's funeral is
The day we
when
leave?
you leaving. Yeah, the
Okay.
morning after. So that means you'll have time to do that.
I think
before you
I'm
go.
in favor as well. We probably don't need to really discuss any, unless the rest of the group thinks so.
Less shrugs and nods.
Of course, Thurindle has reservations about how we're going to handle this, but that's probably pretty obvious to the rest of the group.
Okay. So
He doesn't think we should take the Gamry approach. Let's put it that way.
So yeah, you guys can sort of like confer among each other. You can talk to Gear, because you guys haven't really told him, yes, we're taking it.
Now, Gamry, cleave shouldn't be the opening. It should be the end
It's really crazy.
of
They said they
negotiations.
delivered it to James.
You are, yes, Camry. Your recklessness could be our doom. But I am not opposed to this job per se, although I was on the brink of finding important information about Donovan Matthews. Although, perhaps, I mean, if we have the time, I would like just time to find this last bit of information, but
Well, we have
Maybe-
3 days, don't we?
If that is-
Well, 2 days, because you leave in the morning.
okay. In that case, I will make sure to make the best of the time that I have, and I will come with you. It might drive me away from my objective, but I mean,
Nameless Girl offers to help you over the next 2 days.
that is greatly appreciated. And so I guess Yang is okay with it.
So you guys just tell Gear that you're in.
Yeah. What
Okay,
will
so-
payment look like?
He said he doesn't know. So he says, again, with Mr. Fosh's reputation, I can assure you that you will be paid rather handsomely. At this time, however, I would suggest that you come up with your own rates.
Are you the one? I don't know if he said this. Are you the one providing the transportation?
Gear says, I have arranged for us to leave in the morning 3 days from now. Unfortunately, the circumstances of travel may not be quite as amicable as we would all hope for, but time is of the essence, I'm afraid.
Well, you've chosen your time well, or your timing, I should say.
Where is it exactly that we're going?
He says, we're heading northward to the edge of Baitor. And you know that to be like the northern... Here, I'll see if I can... I feel like I got a map. It's going to show where you guys are going. I was going to save this for later, but it really doesn't matter. That's where you guys are going.
Let's turn the job down.
Come up with a better quest, Holm.
Hey, that's fine. I mean, you know, it's not like I put a lot of work into this adventure.
Yeah.
But with that being said, if it's not appealing, you shouldn't be forced to do it, because that'll just make you hate the adventure more.
I'm appealed.
I mean, you can. I would suggest if you're not sold on it, maybe ask Gear for more details.
Well,
Or more
I'm just
money.
trolling.
That's fine.
Les,
I mean,
he stands up and bows and asks to be excused.
you can leave.
Yeah, he's
Here.
he's going to leave. He goes to mail the letters that he told Andy what he was going to mail.
He hasn't mailed those yet? Oh my god.
I know, I'm a dick. But he doesn't tell you what he's doing. He just goes and does it.
What about everybody else?
Who else is going to be on this ship with us?
To hear this, he says, I'm. The ship that we are hiring is a cutter ship. The only other members on board will be the other team of professionals, yourselves, myself, and the captain. That means that the responsibilities to sailing may fall upon all of you, but I can assure you that this will be considered part of your labor. None of you have experience on ships before, have you?
Gorgon says, I've been on a boat.
Well, same for me, but no, I am not a sailor.
Unfortunately, in order to arrive at Steelgate in a timely fashion, we've had to restrict the crew somewhat. But I can assure you this captain is the best. And I have, after what Michael has told me, I have utmost faith in all of you.
I see.
So you guys can make any other, questions, sense motive checks, talking to him, doesn't matter.
I might start some. If nobody else has any questions, I might try to start some small talk, asking stuff like, "So, what? This cane looks impressive. What? From whose beast has this been taken from?"
So Gear smiles at that and he says, this was crafted for me by the Nyor tribe. I've been teaching some of the younger ones common, you see, and documenting them quite extensively. And he pulls a journal out that you can see has various weird feathers and leaves and stuff pressed in it. And he opens parts of it and says, the chieftain's son has been making quite extensive progress in learning common. It's been remarkable to learn about their culture. To think that savages could be so rich in culture is quite astonishing.
I have been taught to never underestimate the power of learning and teaching others.
He says, yes, of course, but these savages, they lack any real discipline, but they are quite remarkable hunters. I'm not quite sure what beast this belongs to, but this tool is a rather common weapon, and I simply repurposed it for my own needs.
I see. Well, if they are fantastic hunters without discipline, I cannot even imagine how potent they may be with discipline.
Oh, the tribes, if what savages lack in any sort of academic sense, they certainly make up for in their savagery. And the Nyors are one of the more timid tribes, and I've seen them, their proficiency at hunting.
I see. Well, I am eager to, if that is the case, have the chance to meet them. I'm sure I can learn many things from them.
Oh, I'm sure. And though the tribe is suspicious of outsiders, I'm sure that they too will very welcome this help. You see, my hope is that if we can establish a good rapport with the Nyor tribe, and perhaps the other Knolls as well, then the taking of the continent as a frontier for Torresia will be assured.
I just nod.
Do we still have knowledge geography, or did we lump that into knowledge local slash knowledge
No,
nature?
you do knowledge geography is its own thing. If you want to do that.
Oh, I don't have it. That's why I was
Okay.
asking.
Okay. If somebody has it, they can make it for Stillgate, I guess, or this
Well, it'd be
trip.
more for the continent, yeah.
Probably a bit of both. Is that it? Anybody have any other questions? Oh yeah, you can even make for Stillgate. There's knowledge history and knowledge nature. If people want to make that, I think I'm just talking to Thurindil here.
I have knowledge nature.
Oh, okay.
Net 1.
Yeah, you don't know anything about the dinosaur.
I'm
too.
from the south. That's to the south.
Very good, Corgan.
No, you actually Gorgon's
Benzel
holding the
wants
map
to make-
upside down.
I don't know if Benzel wants to make any rolls or if he's gone. Okay. Anything else, or you guys just head back to the Blue Boot and sleep?
I'm personally gonna head back and sleep after I mail my letters and stuff.
Okay.
I'll do the same. And then before I go out with Yang in the morning, I'm going to make a trip, now that I know we're going on a boat, to buy like boating gear.
That's actually probably a good idea.
And yeah, Anna basically just like spends time with Rosemary for these few days. But yeah, is also gonna like buy some stuff. So the next day, I guess we'll do this together then. So, Luke, why don't you make a roll to assist Yang first? So, if you got rid of this thing, where is it? You can make a knowledge local, diplomacy, intimidate, bluff, stealth.
And then just pull up my sheet and see what's higher.
Smart.
I know, Drew, I know.
What? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
I said I had to pull up my sheet, and I can just hear you going, oh, your character sheet.
Character sheet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're awful. All of you are terrible people.
Except me, right, Drew? True.
Terrible for completely different reasons.
I accept that.
Yes, we're going to be doing a bluff. And then what is it, +3? So 26.
Okay, so you're gonna give him a +2 bonus.
Sweet.
Roll that. Oh, dang.
Yep. Gonna have it right here. So I'm gonna do again a knowledge local. I'm not gonna spend any money. Ah, son of a bitch. So 16, I think, with all the bonuses.
Okay, so as you begin to ask around, you and Cassie begin to like gather what information you can. Yeah, but I mean, Luke got a decent roll, so you you head back into the Artisans District because you learned that Donovan Matthews visited somebody there, and as you do so, a boy runs up to you. He sort of has like a sooty face, and he says, "You're looking for Donovan Matthews, right?"
That is true.
I've got some information for you. There's someone who wants to speak with you. Come with me.
I follow him.
Okay.
Is Cassie with me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna
gonna
follow along as
I'm
well.
just gonna
Or
I'm just gonna give her a look that means just I guess that's a bit suspicious. Let's be a bit careful, but yeah, let's go.
okay.
So, and the boy,
Can I sense motive the little boy?
You know what? I should do that too.
I think you guys are being too suspicious of that harmless little boy. It's just a beard NPC. Relax.
Oh, yeah. Yang is.
That
Oh,
funny?
so I guess it's Cassandra who does this.
Yeah, Sveltna, as soon as the boy, first of all, like, the fact that he knew exactly where you guys were is a little weird, and as soon as you see him, like, he seems like he blurts out, I know who you can talk to, like, a little too quickly, and you see sweat kind of run down his brow as he scampers off towards an alley.
Yang is too thrusting. But
Well,
yeah.
you can think whatever you
Cassie's gonna
want.
call the little boy over to her.
So the boy stops at the mouth of the alleyway, but he doesn't come towards you. Hobbs has some information for you right this way. He's standing at the front of the alley, just sort of like looking at you. You can see his pupils are sort of like he's kind of like looking around. He looks super nervous.
Hobbs?
I want to take a quick look around. Is there like anyone like coming up behind us right now?
No, but there's a guy reading an Intrepid right in front of the alleyway, and you see he has a short sword in his belt, and he's like holding the Intrepid right up to his face. Like he looked, you didn't notice him at first, like he's just standing near the alleyway, but as you're doing that, as you sort of like pause and call to the boy, you see that the man like moves the Intrepid a little bit and looks your way, and you catch a little bit of red hair, and you recognize that he was at the Hazards compound. You've seen this guy before.
What's...
You
Come
you
on.
imagine
I'm gonna pull-
he's there to block your exit when you get down into this alley.
Come on,
But there's
nameless.
people around out on the street. Like there's people walking by and stuff. So if you like start a fight right here, shit will go down.
Down this alleyway, huh? Well.
I'm gonna pull Yang close and say, "Keep your weapons." free."
The boy turns and runs down the alleyway, not waiting for you to respond. The other man just pulls the Intrepid up to his face. It doesn't look like he's recognized that you know who he is.
Okay, can I do a bluff to make it seem like I don't know who he is?
I'm just gonna assume you succeed. That's fine. You
Okay.
yeah. He doesn't know that you guys are sort of like talking.
Okay, I'm gonna tell Yang to keep his weapons close.
What do you mean? Do you suspect a trap? I mean, it is in an alleyway. That's definitely suspicious.
The boy's a little too fishy. I'm gonna eye over to the guy with the paper and say I've seen him before at the compound.
Well, perhaps we should
Something's
question
about to
him
go down.
before going down the alleyway.
That could risk us finding out who's setting us up.
Well, they already know who we are, so try to position yourself in a way that to block his escape. If he tries to run, I'll take care of the rest. And I go to the bench where this guy is, and I'm gonna...
He's not sitting down. He's just like standing up against.
Oh. I'm gonna go
storefront.
next. I'm
Just,
gonna
like,
go...
walk up to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up to him, and I'm gonna say, excuse me, sir, have...
So he lowers the paper, and Yang, you especially, because this guy like ran up to you during that fight in the Hazards compound. You immediately recognize him. He's one of the dudes who like, when you were running away, he's one of the Hazards like lieutenants. He lowers it. You see he's got like the scar down one side of his face. He's also got a scar on his hand. And as he lowers the newspaper, like you just see, like he's pissed. As soon as he puts the newspaper down, looks right in your face. He's like,
I give him a shit-eating smile, kind of like a fake, like I'm pretending to be happy to see him, but I'm not. And I say, well, what an odd coincidence to meet you here.
he says, "I."
Well, good chat. Have a great day.
Yeah.
You
Sorry, I'm
look
just thinking of my
longingly
reply.
into each other's eyes.
He's just standing
I
there, like
think-
his hands are tense, like he's crumpled the Intrepid, but he's not making a move for his sword or anything. He's just like looking at you.
I'm surprised your kind has the gall to stay here after the whipping that you've received.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't.
I just think it would be best for you and yours to make your home somewhere else. It's not safe out here on these streets.
Oh, but how about the alleyways? Are they safe?
So the man drops the Intrepid on the ground and says, "Watch your back, elf." And he goes to like walk away.
I'm going to smile and say, "Watch your front, friend."
And yeah, the guy just walks away unless he's stopped.
No, I'll let him go. And I guess I'll just. I'm not gonna.
The alleyway is eerily quiet, but yeah, you don't.
See, that's the thing.
This
When
angle especially, like you're so close, and I guess I forget. Sveltna has dark vision. You can see down the alleyway that there is a door that's open, and you see the silhouette of someone like that was clearly supposed to ambush you. Like look out the door, confused as to what the holdup is, and then like sees you standing there and pulls their head back in really quickly.
If I have the time, I'd like.
It's just a fucked ambush.
Yeah, I'd like to wave at him with a smile if I have the chance of just being like, "Hey." I want to.
I'm gonna start running out that door.
Dude,
Okay.
that's down where the ambush is.
So Cassie suddenly like sprints down the alleyway. As you do so, you feel something rip underneath your foot. Make a reflex save, please.
Oh shit.
Yeah, not entirely sure why you did this, but okay. Reflex save, please.
Did I mention that I was jumping on the walls, Prince of Persia style? Yeah.
18.
You sort of trip as you feel like there was a tripwire placed in the way, and you feel a wire like rip underneath your footing. And suddenly the door opens again, and somebody steps into the alleyway and throws something at you. You sort of like reflexively like tense up, but suddenly there's like an eruption of powder in your face. Now I'd like you to make a fortitude save, please.
Oh man, they had the good shit.
Son of a bitch.
Is she gonna
17.
get addicted to
This thing
drugs?
begins to like sting your eyes and nose, and you cough, but luckily because of your face mask you don't breathe in the poison as it like quickly dissipates in the air. You see a man standing there, clearly like a drug addict with a burn on their hand, draw a club and is reaching for something else on their belt, and he says, "You done fucked up now, but you can actually." Yang, what do you do?
Well, if Cassie is on the ground and this guy is charging her, I will attempt to charge at him before he gets to her.
The alleyway is like really narrow. Cassie is pretty like right next to this guy. You'd have to like push Cassie out of the way to get to the dude.
Could I do an acrobatics to maybe move? Because yeah, oh no, I guess she's really in the way. So
It's traditional combat because not everybody's here, and I don't want to take a lot of time. So if you like,
I can just. I mean, I would do an acrobat. Maybe I could.
you can acrobatics. I'm okay with it. Like
Yeah.
what? But what are you attempting to do? You're just trying to get right up to the person.
Yeah, I'm attempting to maybe to jump or move to the side of
Don't worry
Cassie
about
to
it.
shield her.
Okay.
I'm trying
so
to
you-
shield
Okay.
Cassie and slash this guy to protect her while because she got powder in her face, and I don't know that she's successful. So I'm trying to give her some time to get back on her feet. So
The cloud is still there though. Like you will be running into this cloud if you do that.
oh, okay. In that case, can I just maybe pull Cassie back or something? Try to get her out of the way, or
Down the alleyway
Through the
and,
cloud.
Like,
Pull her back through the cloud.
stuff. You like grab Sveltna's shoulder. Luke, what do you want to do?
Is he like dragging me back?
I'm gonna say I'm definitely pushing just enough to mean like let's back up a
You
bit.
don't have to, you don't have to do rolls to like grapple each other. Like
No,
I
no,
get- I
I'm
don't
not. Yeah,
expect-
no, I'm
Right.
not
I
gonna,
was just gonna say if he's
Drug
just
addict.
like dragging me, though, I'd probably just start shooting with my bow.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
don't if you push to
Let a
keep
bow.
charging, I'm gonna let you go.
You can roll a bow attack if you want.
Like just kind of fire to where I saw the door.
Oh yeah, I mean the dude's like you can see the dude. He's like 5 feet away from you. So you, as you get pulled out of the cloud, you pull out the bow and fire. The guy's eyebrows like raise as he ducks out of the way as your arrow clatters down the alleyway, and you see from behind him 2 other people come down the alleyway as well, and you hear from behind you, so you are a lot fucking dumber than you look. And you see the guy that you just chased off come back because his ambush has like reversed itself.
I guess I did want to say that I wanted to check out for him, but I forgot to mention it. So yeah, now he's on my ass. Okay.
Yang, what are you going to do now? He's about like 10 feet behind you.
Oh, I'm gonna...
But
I guess...
to sort of like put it in your mind, it's only 5 feet wide. So there's only like one person can be...
Am I in the... So, and I'm in the alleyway and he's blocking my way out. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to attack him with my sword for sure.
Okay.
And we're going to do some back-to-back action.
Great.
So allow me to, again, go get my character sheet. So I'm going to attack with my katana. And that is a 16 versus AC for 9 damage.
So you charge up towards the man and slash towards him, but he nimbly dodges from your katana blow as he attempts to stab you with his gladius.
Okay.
16 versus your AC.
Oh boy. Yeah, no, that's I believe I'm getting hit.
7 damage. He as you like slash with your katana, he stabs his gladius into your stomach. The blade goes like pretty deep as you pull back, and he says, "Hazard sends his regards." Cassie, what do you want to do?
You're muted.
Mute.
Sorry. Swap bow for chakram and kind of try and like, can I acrobatics get in front of Yang? Actually, no, I'm gonna deal with these 3 guys that are coming at me.
Yeah. Okay.
Switch to chakram and start throwing them.
Okay.
Now,
And pull
like
out
when
my
you
shield
say
as
when you say switch weapons,
I'm not going to worry about it overly much. So you charge
well.
towards the
That's
guy
a quick draw.
and slash at him. He gets impaled by the chakram and like collapses howling. But he's not dead, but he's like holding onto the wound, laying on the ground. Like it looks like he doesn't want any more. The 2 other people, one person runs down and whips a bag at you and makes a touch attack.
Oh, those stupid drugs.
17 versus your touch AC.
definitely.
I'm pretty sure it's probably
Yes,
hit.
that's it. I only have 13.
The bag explodes into a sticky goo as you've been hit with a tanglefoot bag.
Oh.
So you are roughly entangled as these people charge up to you. So we go back to Yang.
All right, so I will attempt to once again slash the guy that is looking our way. 12 versus AC is fucking garbage.
Yep. Guess what he does?
He's attacking me too.
Yeah.
Guess how he rolled.
Yeah.
Son of...
You know, you two could have avoided this.
He slashes your upper arm for 6 damage. What are you looking like for health?
-7, -6. I don't have a token, so I'm gonna have to calculate.
I just want to say
There is
that
a token on this page. isn't
Beard
there?
warned you guys
Oh,
if you
but I
fucked
don't have
around, you
control
would
over it.
die. You remember that?
Don't worry about it. What's
Whose
your
fault is that?
Remember what Beard said? If you fuck around, you're gonna die.
Hang wheels off, boys.
So if you spot an ambush
Well, you won't have
and
to
run
hear
into
about his
it,
sword anymore.
That's all.
Silver
how much-
linings.
Matt, how much HP do you have?
9.
9 left? Okay. Then we go to Cassie.
If only I had the token control, that would go so much faster.
The guy on the ground looks like he doesn't want anymore.
Yeah, so you've just got 2 more behind him.
Alright, I'm gonna throw a chakram at the one who just threw that tanglefoot bag at me.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna, like, I don't know what the actual thing is. I'm just gonna say you take -2 to your attacks.
So 12.
Oh shit.
So 12 is still a hit. So the sticky goo sort of like sticking your body together. You peel away as this guy runs up to you with a club, and you slash his arm as he does so, and he backs up. The last guy in the alleyway is sort of like standing there menacingly, but he's not moving forward to attack. The guy in front of you grabs his like torn open arteries on his arm, drops his club and says, I yield, and runs back out of the alleyway. So last is, so the guy holding his artery like drops to the ground. The other dude who's had enough crawls away from you and starts to run away. The lieutenant, however, is not budging. So Yang, go again.
Okay, so I will look at him in the eyes. I will concentrate, try to read him as much as I can, and I will unleash all of my attacking power.
You know you're setting yourself up for now 1.
I know, but I believe that my
You
luck
can't
is so
talk it up
great
like
that
that.
it's gonna be a it's a 9.
No. So he dodges the blow again, and by this point, because you're slashing, you exit out onto the street. People immediately like start to not like run away screaming, but people are like backing away from you. And at this point, like, you notice that the guards must have been paid off beforehand because there's nobody out here. Like that must have been part of the ambush, was to make sure that nobody interfered. And the lieutenant dodges the blow again and says, "Oh, it's not so easy to kill a bunch of people unless you're sneaking up on them in the middle of the night. Isn't that right, Elf? Let me cut one of these ears off as a souvenir."
I've killed many of you before.
22 versus your AC.
That's
That
a
is
hate
a
crime.
hit. I say, you have the ball.
So he slashes your upper thigh for 3 damage. He seems like pretty well trained with the gladius. Cassie.
You have a lot of gall to speak, to try to speak against ambushes.
I'm
Got him.
gonna look at the one. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna look at the one who's still standing that I haven't hit yet, and tell him if he leaves now, only one of them will die, and then I'm gonna bury a chakram
Intimidate.
into this one that's on the ground.
Okay. Intimidate check.
$20.
Yeah, he runs away. he makes an effort of like, he grabs the other guy who's wounded and like he looks at you defiantly, and like seeing his lieutenant fight out on the street, he like limps away with his buddy. As
I'm
the
throwing one
guy
at
on the
his
ground
buddy.
is like, no, and you bury a chakram into his face, and he like begins to spasm in this alleyway as you head back out the other way, and to witness Yang getting his ass kicked. So go ahead, Yang, roll another attack. Unless you
Alright.
want to give up, you can always yield.
Oh, fuck no. That's not what the Yang way. Fight to the death, bitch. 16, I think that's not good enough.
16. Did you get 16 previously?
No, I got 15, that's true. No, 16 I did get 16. It's a 10.
Okay.
I haven't rolled over 10 for this whole fight.
No, he dodges the blow again. This time when you miss this time, the guy sort of like looks around and notices the situation, and he begins to like back up into the street and says, "You better watch your back, Elf," and he sheathes his gladius and sprints away from you.
I
So you can chase him if you want, but he like runs into a nearby building and closes the door and just like keeps running.
I'm gonna spit on the ground and do that cool motion samurais do when they sheath their sword, and
Usually they do it after they win.
yeah, but
It at least has a little
no,
bit of
they
blood.
do it,
Got
they do
'em.
it. They do it anytime they sheath their sword, and I'm just gonna
That's what
Look.
samurais say that lose.
I'm just gonna look in the direction where he's running, and I'm gonna say to myself, next time I will be ready.
That's good.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Nameless
we're-
girl's gonna run up to Gorgon or Yang and grab him by the wrist and say, "We got to get out of here."
Well,
And,
I would have appreciated if we didn't get in there from the beginning.
If you don't mind,
If I
you guys
didn't come
can
with you, you would have been in there alone. Yeah, we'll RP this in chat.
Oh, yeah.
our in chat. Yeah.
Yep.
So, Thurindo, what do you want to do today?
I wanted to see if Gorgon wanted to investigate something with me, or anybody else for that matter.
Gorgon, of course, will help you.
Sure.
Well-
What do you guys want?
We could look into this cinder press that was ransacked, or I was actually considered tracking down these cats, since this woman seems to have a prejudice against elves. It might
And
be
other
sort of
foreigners.
amusing if an elf returned our cats.
Yeah, but then wouldn't she just take a blame, or be like, "Of course you returned it. You had it the entire time."
But why do you hate elves, lady? Our ears look so much alike.
That is possible, Gorgon.
Gorgon says they were successful in ransacking the mint, eh?
By the sounds of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Gorgon says, "Whatever you prefer, you have my assistance."
So, how would you guys like to go about this? Like, what are you attempting to do?
Well, we could go there and ask around at the very least. This happened a while ago on the 9th of Eve's
It
Storm.
happened. Yeah, it happened about the time you guys left Fort Whitfield, actually.
So
the same
all
day.
of the clues are likely gone. But we can
I
still...
will tell you, like, when you arrive at the Mint, you find that for a building that was attacked a little while ago, it doesn't look like it's in super bad disrepair. It's a large, almost like barracks-looking building. It's all stone. There are large windows at the front. It looks like it almost has like a bank-ish area in front. You imagine people get loans, but you notice as soon as you approach that there are tons of guards, like, all over the place. It even looks like they're kind of like controlling who can go in and out.
Oh, also at the beginning of each day, I'm going to do a disguise check to try to make myself look human.
Okay.
I believe. Just let me double check the DC on that. And you actually have to roll that.
Right, because you don't know how good it is. Can you tell me what your bonus is?
Yeah, it is +5, I believe. Just let me check real quick.
And
Yeah, it's
what you
+5.
can do, I believe I did read this somewhere. If you want to go to this extent, Gorgon can even attempt to do a perception check, and if he passes, he can tell you if your disguise is shit or not.
Yeah. I'll take
Yeah.
a -2 to look like a different race.
Okay.
So +3.
Okay. Gorgon, do you want to double check his work, or
Yep,
you're pretty?
I am inputting that command now. 5, looking good, buddy.
We're all rolling
It's
really
great.
great.
You look just. I couldn't tell you apart from the other humanoids. Are you Anna? I'm fairly certain you are.
Why don't you take 10 on that at least?
Gorgon's not even looking. He's just like working
He's just
on
like,
his-
yeah, it's great. Let's go.
You take 10, and he seems to like the disguise seems actually pretty great.
All you humanoids look alike to me.
Yeah.
No, you are a humanoid too,
Right.
Gorgon.
I'm a goblinoid.
The funny thing is that
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Right.
it fits his character.
So yeah, you guys, do you want to try to enter the Mint? Do you want to check it out? From the outside, it doesn't look like there's been any scenes of struggle or anything. You do notice that even though, like when you head into this area, there's guards posted at sewer entrances too.
Well, we won't just straight up enter because it's probably not the
Right.
type of place that people just walk into.
I will tell you, like, it's enough that like if you had business, it's a mint, but it looks like people go in and out, like staff and
We'll go in then.
but not just riffraff, like just random people can't go in.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go in. Let's go in.
Okay, as you approach, one of the guards sort of like stops you and says, "What business have you in the Cinder Mint?"
We wanted to perhaps offer our assistances in the recent ransacking that took place here. You see, we're able to solve problems like that.
Bluff check or diplomacy.
I'll throw down a bluff, I guess.
I'll assist.
7. I mean, we're not really lying, are we?
It's okay. It's more.
Gorgon asks straight up, is there a bounty or a ransom for recovering what's lost?
The guard says, "You have any information on the attack?"
No, but we haven't started to investigate it yet.
The Abbot Short Guard has this handled. If you have any information that you can report to our headquarters. Otherwise, we don't need people coming in and messing up the crime scene. This is still a place of business.
I see. Well, Gorgon, I think we know where our help isn't wanted.
He says, fine, let us go. Maybe the missing cat lady would be more sympathetic.
Perceptive. Ah! Okay.
So, how do you want to
So
do
this cat lady.
Trindle
Yeah.
goes down the street yelling, Spurt, hamstring, cuddle face.
So
Tusker.
if you're just going to go like looking for cats, what kind of rolls do you want to make? Like, I'm going to be pretty receptive to this if you want to try.
Well, first we need to find what section of town she's in. And I think that'd be a good knowledge local cat check.
Yeah, you want to talk to Mama Myrtle first? That's her name, right? Mama
Sure.
Myrtle. So you find that she is in the slums district. You head to a tenement, like the equivalent of like an old-timey apartment building. You start to walk around, and from inside this entire building, you can just hear like the sounds of poverty, like people coughing, like people arguing, and a few domestics going on. And as you head to one of the upper floors, you get to Mama Myrtle's residence. There's no door. There's just like a bead curtain at the front of her house, and you can already hear the woman inside. Fucking elves, taking them away. They'll never take you, bloodsucker. Never. And then you hear meow from inside.
Bloodsucker.
The Rindle
boy.
will knock on the wall.
You can still hear her talking to herself. You look in through like the front living room. It looks like there's just like a living room and then a kitchen you can see from here, and you can hear the old woman like walking around. Her living room is horrific. Like there's like old food out here and about. You can see that there's like a couch that there's like a huge mound of clothes all against, and it just reeks of cat feces.
Rindle sort of holds back his disgust a little and says, excuse me, Mama Myrtle.
And finally, you see a woman emerge from the other room. In her left hand, she has a smoky gray cat under her arm. In her right, she's holding a butcher knife. She has like scraggly hair, one bulging eye. Her other one is like a little crumpled. Her nose is twisted a little bit, and as she exits, she says, "Who's there?"
It is two people who want to help you with your with your missing cats.
You've come to take more of them, haven't you? You elf! And she walks up to Gorgon and is like brandishing the knife. Get out of here, elf!
No, we simply want to understand what happened and help you find your cats, bring them back to you.
He ate them! She points the knife at Gorgon. Damn elves!
Those damn elves.
Well,
Drew, you're muted,
yeah,
I think.
or not there.
Right, yeah, there I am. Gorgon looks at the knife and goes, says to
Mama Myrtle. I think.
Mama Myrtle, he says, we're trying to help you find the cat, and besides, I'm not an elf, I'm a half-orc.
That's what an elf would always say. They're always in here. I'm not an elf. I'm a dwarf. I'm not an elf. I'm a halfling. All you elves look the same. She, the cat like struggles in her grip, and she attempts to like hold the cat steady with her other hand holding a knife, and it immediately like squishes into the side of the cat that like shrieks and starts scratching her, and she drops it on the floor and says, "That's right. Bloodsucker, run from the elf!" And the cat immediately runs between the two of you out into the tenement and starts to run like wild.
Well, this is quite the conundrum.
Gorgon says, perhaps we should go see if the mint has more clues.
I don't think anyone wants our help, Gorgon.
Come. Let us
I
go finish.
apologize, but
Let us go finish our cup of tea and talk of magical things.
That might be more beneficial.
As you walk out, you see Bloodsucker like licking its wound on the front stoop of the tenement building, and as you exit, the cat like looks at you and then scampers further into the slums district.
Too bad Anna wasn't here. She could speak with the cat and perhaps learn more.
Too bad.
Help us!
Too bad I didn't have my seasoning kit. That cat looked rather delicious.
She won't leave us.
Have you ever eaten cat, Thorindel?
Thorindel looks on after the cat and says, No, I have not.
It's
I
a leaner
suspect-
meat, but it will do in times of crises. You don't get very much off it. It's barely worth the work.
I see.
Whoever's eating those cats must be awfully hungry.
I suspect that is the fate that has befallen these cats.
I mean, they're a little mealy. Like cats are almost like eating duck. I haven't eaten a cat.
I don't know. We don't know. You're in
Are
China.
you sure?
Maybe.
That's the joke. I did eat dog again the other day.
You don't know
so, yeah.
what is in those bowls of brown.
So your Good Samaritan adventures, unfortunately, like turn up relatively lacking.
I guess
But,
we'll have to find some other way to redeem magic there, Thorindel.
Mm-hmm.
And Gamry. Meanwhile, Gamry, I found a cat to train with. Yeah.
He's got
We
cat
solved the
nunchucks.
mystery. Russ, what do you want to do? You gonna train again?
Yeah, I don't know. Gamry's kind of a loner. I really want to succeed at that training.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I got it.
Look who did it.
Wait,
One
give me
Wow.
a cat training story.
Hey, if you want to, yeah. So you're like training in a
Camry.
public park, like chopping a tree and like it's sort of just like training with it and stuff out of this willow tree when you hear like a strange sound from the leaves above, and you see a cat like perched on the edge of one of the leaves as it looks like it's trying to like hang on for dear life as you've been chopping at this tree. It's been rattling it, and the cat looks like it might fall if the frenzy keeps up at the tree below.
Well, Gamry chops the branch to save the cat.
Okay. Let you make a reflex save, please.
I just want to help you, cat. Swipe.
So you jump and slash the branch, and as the branch falls, the cat goes berserk and like sprints away from you into the park. Do you want to chase it or anything?
Nah. Gamry's content.
You do,
He
however,
saved
like,
the cat.
as you continue your train, like a few minutes later, you hear the like not quite like chilling, but like it has, you hear the sound of a cat being attacked by something further in the park as you're training, and you like stop for a second as you're listening and like deciding what you should do. It fades after a while, but it sounds like the cat got attacked by something.
Oh well, I'd at least look. Do I see anything?
Okay. So you heading sort of towards the sound. You head out of the small park and begin to head down the street when you notice that there's like small blood droplets that lead on the cobblestones, and they're pretty hard to follow. I'd like you to either make a survival or perception check, please.
Okay. 3.
You begin to follow them, and as you do so, you find that the blood trail leads towards a nearby alley.
Oh, alleyways. Okay. Gamry will waltz on in.
Alleys.
Yang pops
when
out.
you
Go
get
in.
down,
It's safe.
at the far end, you see one of the dumpsters that has already felt Sir Gamry's wrath is like turned over further down this street, and you see someone like knelt down at the far end, and you can hear mumbling.
What the fuck? Gamry kind of walks in, sword in hand.
You hear, "Fucking elves! They won't get my cats!" And as you approach, you vivisecting her own cat in the alleyway, and she turns around with a knife in her hand and says, "You won't take him from me!" And she charges you with the knife.
Oh god.
So it's a random. What's vivisecting?
It's basically like dissecting.
Splayed open and
Dissecting as
Down
it's
the
still
middle.
alive.
Butterfly.
Have you
Christ.
seen that Cops episode where the lady attacks the police and she trips and falls on her own knife?
No.
If you
This is
haven't,
cops.
well, that it happens in an episode of Cops.
Oh my god.
The Mama Myrtle stands up from slaughtering her own cat, charges towards you, trips on the cobblestones. No, even better. She trips on the garbage that has fallen out from the dumpster that you attacked the day previous and falls, plunging the knife into her own chest.
Oh,
She
geez.
lays motionless in the cobblestones.
Well, Gamry strikes again. Better get out of there, dude.
I like to think that Gamry just goes to Thranduil and Co. and being like,
I swear I didn't do it.
like,
Gamry doesn't
So-
really know too much about who she is.
I solved the mystery.
Yeah, no, you have no idea who she is.
What a shame. I just fell in love. What a
Gamry's
shame
like-
for-
Read the paper.
Gamry
That liberal
shrugs.
claptrap.
It says, I just got the authorities off my back. I really can't deal with this.
Better eat this body.
And-
Oh yeah, Gamera.
Yeah, like, is there anything I could just wrap her up in and throw her in the dumpster?
Sure. The dumpster's really not made for body disposal. Like, she'll be sticking out either her feet or her head.
Throw her down in the sewer.
Right. Is there a sewer nearby?
You'd have to like drag
Wow.
her around, like
Nah.
drag her to this.
Can I like crunch
Put her in the dumpster and
with
then
my
drag
strength?
Sorry, what did you say, Roz?
Can I crumple her into the dumpster with my strength?
like Bane, like break her body and like snap.
Well,
her.
the body's flexible. Gamry's pretty strong. Like there's
Good
probably a way
lord.
to do
So
it.
as you pick her up, her eyes sort of flickers and she looks up at you and she says, "Damn elves." You see that the knife has been plunged
Ow.
into her chest, but it apparently has not killed her.
Now is not the time for fear.
Gamry's
That
like,
comes later.
this is awkward. Is there any like?
This is so much better.
Is there any rivers nearby?
Can
Sorry,
you-
what?
Is there any rivers nearby?
There's any what?
Rivers nearby?
I mean, Abbott's Shore is built on a lot of canals. You could try to drag her towards one.
Nah. Gamry's like, I have to be a knight. Gamry takes
Stop
her to the. Gamry carries her to the authorities since she's still
When you
living.
pick her up and walk her out of the alleyway, like pretty quickly, you find some guards, and they believe it or not, they like accept the story. Like the wounds seem, they're like, if you did this, it just seems bizarre that you would like go look for help. And the mystery
he's got a two-handed sword versus a butcher knife.
I just want you
Yes,
to understand.
to wrap this up because I wanted to keep like going. You find out pretty quickly that Mama Myrtle had been murdering her own cats in order to spur a race war, and the Intrepid had just been feeding into the story. She is impounded. She's arrested for her horrific deeds, put into an asylum. You each get 5 silvers for solving. No, you know what? I'm going to give all of you. So, Sir Gamry, you got your training point. Gorgon and Thorindel, I'm going to give you guys each a hero point for solving the cat mystery or attempting to.
So a hero points that reroll.
It's a little bit more expansive than training points, but pretty close. Okay, and finally, Leslie.
Whoa, that's cool. Is today the day of the funeral procession, or
Tomorrow is the funeral.
all right.
Yeah.
I write another letter. Oh no, actually I don't do that. Sorry, my mistake. I think I've completed everything I wanted to do. Can I try to craft like an alchemist fire? I just have to figure out how much it costs to do that.
Yeah.
Ask Drew. He'll probably know the.
So sorry, what are you doing, Carl?
I wanted to start crafting alchemist fire.
Okay, what's your craft alchemy skill?
So we can wait for this because I want to.
We can type
keep
that.
this going.
Yeah,
Yeah, you definitely do it.
Is it is it more than plus 10?
Yeah, it's plus 14.
Okay.
So you just do it then, I think, right? You just take that.
Well, it's over time, so.
And you are going to move ahead with your plan,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm gonna be a drug lord.
Right. So things go ahead as planned. Unfortunately, after dinner, you notice that there are no ill effects.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Do you understand?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right then. So I am going to go back to crafting.
Okay.
And I want to go out and buy some nice clothes for the procession tomorrow and some flowers and stuff.
That is a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next morning, and I'm actually going to start with you because everybody else kind of like did stuff today. So the next morning you wake up early, and where are you going to go first?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll say I'll buy the flowers today. Then I'll go. I'll go to like a florist and buy, a large bouquet of flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's in a couple of hours.
Yeah, but you'd probably want to get there early, being like direct family.
Yeah.
Unless you like don't want to be a part of the thing at all. So, as you head through, it doesn't seem like people are really giving you a hard time as you make your way back to your old estate. And as you walk these streets that you recognize, like you used to head down where you would go to school and You can remember your family sort of like taking you out to see the theater and whatnot. You head to your old estate. See, I marked on the map. And when you arrive, you see that already there are mourners outside. Most of them look like they are relatives of yours, like cousins and nephews and stuff. As you approach the building, you see one of your old sort of like not assistants,
It's like a servant?
butlers,
Yeah.
like butlers. A servant, like wide-eyed, notices you and approaches and says, "Leslie, you returned."
Of course, please keep your voice down. He kind of looks around and pulls his hat a little bit over his face.
Yes, of course. Perhaps this isn't the time, but some people have been taking care of your mother's affairs, certainly, and unfortunately, we have yet to find any pallbearers. As she's saying this, you're sort of like being led into the mansion, and like I imagine you see like a few guests, and people are sort of like looking in your direction, but there's enough people here, and they're sort of engaged in conversations. You figure if you head to your dad's study, like no one would see you guys in there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna slip up there with him. I ask how he's doing and stuff, like, you know.
Right.
I will say that has no one stepped up to be a pallbearer?
She says, "We have a few assistants, of course, but we believe it would only be right if at least some family members were able to assist. Most of them, you see, are beneficiaries of your mother's generosity, but none of them are quite so close as yourself."
He nods. Of course I will help to carry the coffin.
And she nods and says, "And anyone else? So far, there's a few veterans who benefited greatly from your mother's generosity. Is there anyone else that you feel would be better suited to serving as a pallbearer?" Like they basically, she's asking, like, there are people who would help, but it's like, because it is a position of like high respect, she wants to make sure that like you choose, right? Like people are gonna carry your mom's coffin, but it's like your choice.
Yeah, honestly, he can't really think of anybody else. His first person, like the first people he thought of was in his party, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Luke's thing. If only he knew 6 people who weren't doing anything.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking. I'm like, well, I can think of some people who I could ask to help, though they
not
do not know her.
You don't have to, like, just like Carl. You don't have to have them if you think Leslie like wouldn't, but they can.
Well, that was the first person, first people I thought of.
Okay.
While we're in there, he flips a book down, and a room opens behind a bookshelf.
There's Batman over here. The servants like are aware of this.
No.
Secret path. No. Okay.
No.
So you like wait for her to leave, and
no, I basically show her. I'm like, you'll need to know about this if you're staying in the house. Don't tell the new owner. Keep it to yourself. And
she says,
"Sorry.
Of course." No, and the mansion may be purchased, but you should know your mother's will. She was hoping that she could turn the estate into an orphanage.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Not on my watch.
Yeah, I'll burn it down.
A coin.
Yeah, after it's an orphanage.
No, she more or less like gave her possessions all to charity. And that I mean, I don't want to like take away from your RP, like if you think she wouldn't do that, but you did say she was a philanthropist.
She's a philanthropist, yeah.
Right. So I imagine that like she wants to make sure that you're taken care of, but also like I don't think she would just sell the mansion off to other people.
In the way I had it is that it was there was an acquisition and basically everything was taken from him anyway. So I have no problem with her donating it. Either way, he wasn't going to get any of it, so He
Yeah,
goes.
but
He goes
instead
into the
being purchased from some asshole merchant. I imagine her like last will was I want
to donate
her
it.
memory to the Washington orphanage in this in this district.
Absolutely. He goes.
Hopefully none of these kids in the secret passage.
Well, he takes the servant in and opens a chest, and there's several books in there, and he flips through it and takes some pages out and puts it into his book. And he says to the servant, "Please see to it that all of these books are put in trust for the family."
So she takes them and says, "I'll be sure that they're placed in the appropriate safety deposit box, and we'll send you the key as soon as we're able."
Thank you. So I'm going to go back to the party.
Okay. So you like as quickly as you can head back to the Blue Boot. I imagine some people are still kicking around just for story purposes.
They better be.
Yeah.
Gorgon's busy.
I imagine the day where I got like super hurt, I go to Anna holding my wounds, and I'm like, yeah,
I haven't.
I did the thing again. I need your help.
Les gives Zang a
I shouldn't
potion.
have gone in the alley.
No, but I was trying to help Cassie, but whatever.
Actually, so one quick thing. Actually, no, I'm gonna make that wait. So you head back to the Blue Boot. Everybody's kicking around. Anna isn't here. Yeah.
I will ask the party. I have something of an awkward request to make. It's my mother's funeral today, and there's a procession, and I was wondering if anyone would be interested in being a pallbearer with me. I don't really have anyone else I could ask.
How very sad, Leslie.
If, of course, I'd be honored to do it if I could. Although, and this is not a condition, but I feel I would be more able to do it if my wounds could be healed.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, you're healed.
Okay. Oh, I'm trying to RP.
Yang, his mother just died, and this is what you do? Oh, my guts hurt. Do you have any idea what he's going through?
That's true.
Thank you, Gorgon.
I am being selfish. My apologies. Even if I bleed to death, your mother will be. No, that's too much.
She'll join you.
Gorgon says, "What's a procession?"
We will be marching through the streets. She was very well loved.
What do you need me to do?
Help carry the coffin. It's something we humans do. What
Why
do
don't you use a
hobgoblins do
cart?
when they're dead?
We burn them or bury them or throw them in a ditch.
It's just a last goodbye, a show of honor to carry our dead to its final resting place.
May I recommend a cart? You can get much more mechanical efficiency out of one of them.
He smiles.
It's symbolic.
Of what? Carrying their weight for one last time? Oh, I get it. It's a community thing. I'll help you, but are you sure you want a hobgoblin carrying your mother's corpse in your hoity-toity circles? That's all they'll talk about.
I couldn't think of any better group of people.
I'm technically a goblin, but yeah, sure.
As long as we do not have to carry her down an alley, I'm okay with it.
But yeah, one last thing before we forget, since it's probably going to last.
Thorindel and Gamry, are you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gamry would be
Okay.
proud.
Grindel's response was very nice.
Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, since it's the last day before we leave, and assuming there's a library or a college, since maybe I won't have the time to do more research.
You will still have time to do your downtime for this day.
Then
I just want to do this for like an RP thing.
Okay, cool. But then as part of my research, I was wondering if I could try to find books that Donovan Matthews.
Let's wait for this.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, we'll come here. So as you head back, you sort of like rush back because you've taken like a bit of the morning to get together. You do notice that there is already like along the route from the Washington estate to Grief Willow Cemetery, there is already like groups of people standing along different parts of the path. And you can see lots of people are holding nightshade. Some people, however, like as they're gathering around, you can see that not all of the crowd seem like in mourner's clothing. They don't seem to be like the most, but there's like people gathering around regardless. As you head up to the estate, you head into the ballroom, and Leslie, you see that your mother's coffin is laid out at the far end of the ballroom. There's lots of people in like various gowns around, like paying their respect. One person in particular you notice that you recognize immediately. That's really surprising. You see in the flesh. I didn't put their hand out in here.
The Illuminati.
No. You said you wouldn't.
A rather like revered figure in the community, I guess. A recluse of sorts, Lord Hastings himself. And it's very surprising to see him out in public for reasons that will become self-evident in a second. I didn't edit this. Oopsie. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm just going to describe it then because I didn't edit this properly. You see basically a man in black mourner's robes, but he is wearing an iron mask. And you know that Lord Hastings wears that because like that's not unusual for him. Like he just wears an iron mask, and it's very unusual to see him in public. But yeah, he watches as you approach the coffin. You see that there are there's like nightshade draped all around it. You can see portraits that she painted on the walls nearby, and various poorly written letters from orphans, and the downtrodden like letters are all sort of like set around her grave as you all take your positions and pick up the coffin, surprisingly light, and begin to head out.
Surprisingly light. Is there a chance we could look inside it first? Like, do they do that?
Leslie could tell you she was a smaller woman.
I don't know what sort of situation in which opening a coffin in front of a bunch of people during their funeral could ever be considered respectful, but I'm not saying you can't do it.
He's a hobgoblin. He doesn't know any better.
It's just he'll be doing it in front of everyone. She's not in here! Like,
I mean, I think, yeah, if anybody would do it, it's the hobgoblin. Oh, boy.
Could.
Gorgon.
What does that roll for?
It's just perception, so he's just gonna do it without opening it. So
Try to shift the
Shakes
coffin a little
it.
bit to feel if it moves inside, and nothing moves inside, so you're not entirely sure if there's a body in here or not.
Gorgon, stop wiggling.
I give him, I give him a look like, come on.
It's not heavy.
I know you don't quite understand it, but try
it's
to
a
be
bomb. It's
try
a bomb.
Try to be
He's
respectful.
It's a bomb.
So you walk out past this procession of people, like slowly carrying it out. As you head out onto the street, like the small hill walkway out of the street is lined with like distant family members, and as you continue to head towards the cemetery, there's more and more people gathered around. You're basically heading down the South Street towards this statue, which used to be the Emperor, but is being remodeled. So as you head past this statue, you can see that it's a featureless visage. Basically, it's being rebuilt into something more representative of Teresian culture. As you head past these buildings, however, Leslie, whatever emotion comes to mind, you immediately hear jeering from some of the buildings nearby, and you see some of the people that are not mourners but are wearing white clothes yell, "Traitor! She was a traitor!" And that you can see like some mumbling nearby, but it's so quiet that the fact somebody yelled that is like really loud, like everybody on the street can hear it.
Yeah, Leslie looks
there
pissed
some
off,
sort of
but he doesn't respond.
Is there some sort of check I can do to try and memorize that person's face?
So, like,
I love having
perception check.
I love having an evil
make a
person in our party.
Sure.
Can I do a knowledge local to see who these white shirts are?
No.
That one. Yeah, you can do a knowledge local.
24
I'll-
knowledge local.
I'll do the same.
They are Clovarians, and like you can tell that they belong to the Clovarian faith. So I'm basically to like sort of fill in the northern like Clovarian district. Basically, when the Civil War happened, obviously like a big issue even before, like as the rebellions were beginning, was like if Tor declared war on the Cloverine Empire, then they would immediately have to deal with their religious sects, because even though like it wasn't a true what's the word, like it's a
Theocracy.
monarchy, but theocracy, thank you. Even though it's not like a true theocracy, the emperor is still like a wholly chosen person of of Clovis. So one thing that was like really leery was like this religious minority that had already been persecuted throughout time due to like people just generally fearing magic. There was a lot of revolts actually in the years leading up to rebellion, as like the Cloverine faith felt like it was being persecuted, and Abbot Shore, for having like a very large religious minority, really felt persecuted by what was happening. And there was sort of like people weren't sure about what was going to happen if they declared separation or declared war, and about like 8 months before war was declared, there was like an inner coup inside the city where the Temple District just like shut down and said that nobody who wasn't like loyal to Cloverine could enter. Luckily, the Lords of Tor managed on negotiating a peace, but it was sort of like this whole quarter is basically like Quebec now. They have their own speaker called the Lord Speaker.
Wait a minute.
They're separatists.
Got it.
doesn't-
Ignorant and poor.
Should
Understood.
have just assimilated them.
They're also very cruel to animals.
We do.
But what happened was like, basically she said, we don't respect the religious authority of the empire. We feel that the emperor has lost the faith of Clovis, but we don't want to be persecuted by a secular government. We'll list the rulers of Tor, but we want our own place where we're not going to be persecuted. And they have their own kind of like laws. On paper, they serve Tor, but there's lots of rumors about, are they state-sponsored terrorists? Like, some of them cause trouble. Are they like? Obviously, there's a lot of tension in that they are treated differently than other citizens, and there's lots of rumors. There's nothing that you can say is true. Some people say like Clovarians don't pay taxes. Like, some people say that the Lord Speaker is just hoping that she can start her own empire and is gonna like start a coup inside the city. For them jeering at this funeral, you have no idea why they would do this. This is very unusual.
Huh.
So I'm going to throw down an intimidate just at the jeerers. And my people have been known to slaughter religious minorities. So I don't know if you want to put that into consideration, but boom.
Yeah, so you just sort of like look over as you're walking with this thing, but Leslie doesn't stop. So you do sort of look over and you see someone standing on a balcony looking back at you, but he goes to like say something and a woman reaches up and grabs the person's sleeve and like pulls on their arm. You see a like not a teenager, like a 19-20-year-old guy standing on the balcony of what appears to be like a cobbler's thing. But he's clearly of the Cloverine faith. He's like wearing his symbol out, obviously.
Gordon
presumably-
makes direct eye contact with him and licks his lips.
The human looks back at you defiantly. As you walk to Grief Willows, you head to the cemetery and you see there are guards waiting at the entrance, and inside there is more like higher members of the nobility. As you make your way up to a plot, you can see that there is a mausoleum because they're, we're on the coast. They don't want their graveyard like sinking into the ocean. You head to this like stone grave marker, which is littered with purple and violet nightshade, and you place the coffin into the grave. And would your mother have like a? I imagine
there is a large family like tomb.
Right. And unless she would be opposed, there would be like a Cloverian priest there that's like giving her last rites.
Yeah, no, I couldn't see her being opposed. Les is trying to figure out why Cloverians would jeer her. He's got no idea. So this priest, like, other than that jeering, everything goes over fine. Like they do the same thing, and anyone that doesn't already have a hero point that was present, so I think that's just Yang and Cassie and Gamry. You guys get a hero point for helping Leslie. You guys being good friends. As the funeral like winds down, you see that there's some people like standing around and crying. Many people who seem to be the most distraught are not people that you recognize, Leslie. Like lots of people who seemingly like benefited from your mother's philanthropy, but didn't like know her really, seem to be like the most distraught. Well, he just kind of goes around. He doesn't want a whole lot of attention, but he feels like compelled to thank them for coming. And
you sort of like make the rounds. Quite a few people, like as soon as you're done thanking them, you walk away and you're like, is that Leslie Washington? Oh, I can't believe he's back in the city. Like
he's put on weight.
You hear lots of like whispering and stuff. You see, he came here with the elves and that man who smells like death.
They would be whispering. It'd be almost a scandal, you'd think, right?
And finally, and also Hobgoblin there. Finally, like as you go to leave, there's lots of like riffraff outside of Grief Willows. You see that quite a few of them are like weeping and stuff outside. Like the people who seem the most emotional are not the people in the graveyard. They're like the riffraff out on the street who seem actually like pretty distraught. As you head to the gates, however, and it's opened, you hear a raspy, echoey voice come from some of the crowds nearby, and people almost seem to part as though like the voice, like the eerie voice itself, commands its own respect. And you hear, Bishop Washington, I'm sorry for your loss. As you see Lord Hastings standing there, sort of like robed and black, like mourner's garb.
Is it the same voice actor as
he has AIDS, like
he has
AIDS around him. He has AIDS.
That's what I thought I heard.
I'm like, why do we need to know that?
That's what I heard too. Yeah.
He has like assistants around him that are all wearing like white gloves, and they have Iron Mask pins like emblazoned on their clothing to show that they are Hastings.
What's my connection to this
guy?
This
is the South Park Jared episode. I don't know. It seems all right. I'm not looking at the stream.
Do I know him, or I just know of him, or?
He's just another real rich guy in the community.
Okay. Thank you very much, Lord Hastings, for coming out here. And he's a recluse, is he not? You said.
Yeah. I mean,
I very much appreciate you coming out here with your health. I know my mother would appreciate it very much.
This community, including myself, owe your mother a great deal. And some of you might not remember, but your characters might. Hastings was the guy who was blackmailing Virgil. in case you guys don't remember that.
There is also some backstory with Hastings and Cassie.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna do a knowledge local on Lord Hastings. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Oh, 19.
I'll do the same thing.
Same basic stuff. He's a recluse. He's known to have like health problems, but he is an investor, rich kid, kind of like Washington. That's about it. He's like notoriously reclusive, mostly like presumably due to his health. He has like never ever been seen in public. But the fact that he's here is like, despite the fact Leslie is here, like is almost overshadowed by the fact that Hastings is here in person. It's probably like not even super healthy for him to be outside. But
Of course.
Hastings says to Leslie, "I owe your mother a great deal, as does all of Abbotshaw. It truly saddens me almost more than... It's like someone from my own family has passed. This grief can join us like family, Leslie."
It warms my heart to hear you say that, Lord Hastings, as I do not have much family left. I very much appreciate you coming here today, and I'd be happy to come and visit you one time and hear some stories about how you know my mother. There's not many old families left in the city.
Indeed, it seems that our number grows smaller every day. However, you are always welcome within my estate, Leslie, and it's good to see you in fine health. I hope that soon the Washington name can be as revered as it once was. In fact, I come here not only for your mother's memory, but also to offer you a gift. And he turns to one of his aides and sort of like just like nods his head a little bit at sort of like a prearranged symbol. And the one of the assistants
He's going to give me one of his
you,
aides.
And he spits in your mouth and says, "You're like me now." The man pulls out a small box, almost like a ring box, and lifts it up. And inside you see a small blue coin with an odd minting on it. And Hastings says, "I would like you to take this. When you learn what it means, come find me."
He's almost odd looking at it, and he slowly takes it, and he says, "Thank you, Lord Hastings."
It feels really light. Like the coin almost feels like it could float out of your hands. Like it is incredibly light, but feels sturdy. You see that on the front of it, it has strange symbols in a language that you can't read, and has some sort of face on it. On the back, it has a symbol of like two interlocking triangles and more strange sigils. Even the edges of it seem like the minting is very odd, but it looks like flawless. Like it's a newly minted coin of some sort.
Do you want an appraise or a linguistics on it?
Yeah, both of those would be great.
Yeah.
The linguistics unfortunately doesn't tell you anything. The appraise tells you that the coin is made of mithril.
Wow.
And Lord Hastings nods and says, "Again, you are always welcome at my estate." And he walks over to a before like not seen litter that sort of almost seems to like emerge from this crowd of people. He climbs inside, and his assistants pick up this I keep saying AIDS now. AIDS. The assistants pick up this litter and walk further into the city streets.
That was somewhat surreal. Les turns to the party and says, I want to thank you all so much for helping me with this today. Before I met you, I don't think I'd have had anyone to ask."
Gamry nods.
Especially you, Gamry.
Glad that we could help.
Although I am quite concerned about the jeering from those Clovarians. As far as I can tell, there shouldn't be any reason for that to have taken place.
It was disgraceful.
But besides that, there was some form of motivation that I'm dying to know. I mean, as far as I know, my mother was loved by everyone. Lord Hastings came to her funeral.
That guy's an asshole.
Well, he's like
Gamry was even here.
he's almost a mythic figure. I don't know if I've ever seen him in person.
Yeah, no, it's like he's never seen in public. The fact that he came here is insane.
But yeah, thank you very much. This is making me rethink the last couple of days, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. It's too bad that things didn't happen the way that you wanted them to, because then this would be really awkward.
Yeah.
It'd be super awkward.
I know. It would have been
that's
intense. Anyway. Though.
So let's go to everybody's thing. I want to try to like wrap this up as fast as I can, because I know it's getting a little late.
Yeah, I gotta take off in a sec.
Yeah. So Yang, you said something about like you want to go buy some of Donovan Matthews' books.
Yeah, because Yang tries to figure out what kind of man he is. So as part of my research, I definitely, and knowing that I'm going on a boat trip, so I'm gonna have time to read. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to get some of that.
Yeah. So you can make your last knowledge check now. Is Cassie gonna help you again?
I don't know. I will ask her.
She's gone.
Luke, okay.
No, like she's stealthing to follow Lord Hastings.
Oh yeah,
well, I'm not gonna.
There she goes again.
I will not go.
Do you wanna? Oh, there's just nobody there.
And
What
then
does this happen with all of Luke's characters?
And then I maybe because Luke, yeah. So I see her sneaking away, and I'm like, well, I'm not going down that alleyway. So I'm gonna do again a knowledge local. I'm rolling as many knowledge locals as I made people roll perception checks during my adventure. But yeah, so I guess with the bonuses, it would be 21.
Okay. And you complete the knowledge challenge, which would also give you another hero point.
Yay, part of the 2 hero points.
But that'll be your maximum, is 2. So you purchase a book. You also find, though he has a household in Shadowfont, which is the capital of Tor, after the war, he purchased a small manor in Westport. He travels to gather information and relics about his current project before returning to his home to catalog the information. During this time, he refuses almost all interviews and stays sequestered in his manor, writing for months at a time. This result grants you his address to his Westport and Shadowfont home, so you know where to find him now.
Good.
Do it.
I can't just no, we're leaving, and I already promised I would go. I can't go back on my word, but soon.
So you also find that he is a historian. He writes about different countries. Do you want to buy his book on the Bryn, on the dwarves, on Tor?
I'll try to get one.
The book on Tor Homeland isn't done yet. Like that's presumably what he's writing now.
I see. That makes sense. So I will get Tor. I'm interested because Gorgon is here. I'm a bit interested in knowing about Bryn. I feel
Gorgon says I can teach you about our fine history and how we were overlooked.
Well, I once
definitely not biased.
The greatest empire in the world.
I know, but I would wish to get his book to contrast his vision with yours to figure out what kind of man he is. So, of course, by me knowing you, you will be very useful to help me to understand this man. So you said...
So if you want, you can spend 50 GP to get a Adventurer's Chronicle. So it'll give you a +2 bonus on knowledge history in regards to the Torasian Empire.
Okay, so it's going to be 50. Is it going to be 50 gold per book?
Yeah.
Huh. So
So think about it. So, Luke, you wanted to follow Lord Hastings.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to make a stealth check or anything. You follow him back to his manor, which I don't know, is like this one over here. You find that he has a particularly large estate, and as they enter the gates, like some guards approach and close it behind them. You see that the litter is carried up to the front steps. Lord Hastings steps out. The front doors are opened for him from the inside by more assistants, and he enters along with his entourage.
Okay, we're gonna take a mental note of where he lives.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. What else do you want to do
And
today?
murder him later.
I will go and. Did I already go and pick up what I need for the water adventure? If not, I'll
Yeah.
do that. If not,
Yeah,
then
just
I
write a
have
list,
to.
like we're not RPing
Yeah.
shopping.
Yeah, it's fine. Plus, I imagine this is gonna wrap up before we go on the boat.
Just remind me the choices of books that I can buy, the history books.
Tor, Bryn, or the Dwarven Empire, whose name I have written down somewhere, but I don't.
Okay.
Whatever. Like the Dwarven Realms. Actually, yeah, you should buy one on the Dwarven Realms, and I can post that shit in the background because I wrote it, but I don't plan on doing anything with it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pick Tor or Bryn because like Tor is the country I'm in.
I'd recommend picking Tor because it'd just be more useful than.
Done something that has nothing to do with anything. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just pick Tor then.
Okay. Thorindel, what are you doing today? This is your last day before you leave tomorrow. Presumably, like you tell Warren that you guys are going to be there.
I will probably do more crafting or scribe a scroll.
Great. Gorgon?
I'm gonna craft the gun.
And last, Gamry, your last day to wreak horror upon Abbot Shore before you leave for a while.
Oh, the possibilities.
A few things you
Go
should know,
carousing.
actually. So Warren is going to tell you that there will be food like supplied, but buying extra food might not be the worst idea. Like buy stuff for the ship, but Stillgate will have more equipment for when you actually arrive on the frontier. So
Gamry feels like fighting someone.
What else is new?
But
Okay.
he wants to do it in a somewhat legitimate or legal way.
okay.
Is there any like? Does Gamry know about
Really
any ways
Coliseum
that he
shit?
could challenge someone to a duel?
Any sleazy fighting dens?
Like a
Maybe.
boxing ring.
All right, I'm gonna go to bed while Gamry fights. I think that was
Okay.
fun.
Fine.
Bye, guys.
You can make a diplomacy check to try to